please?
I'm pretty sure they caught that one, Deb.
Let's see.
Wow, I sure hope so. What a great start.
I hope so.
Yeah. Hi. I guess I'm the host of this.
You
thing,
are,
so
in fact, the host.
I'm the host of this. Hi,
the ringmaster.
Welcome to TotalPartyKiss. I'm Superdillin, and we are. Oh, they heard nothing. Depth, you're safe. This is a special little chat back and art stream for Tragedy of Theolosion, which is an ongoing Greek mythology inspired campaign that has been going on here for 30 episodes. Which is pretty hefty. That is nothing to scoff at. So I'm really excited that I get to come here and sit down with my friends and talk all about their really neat little show. But I think everybody should introduce themselves first before we start talking about tragedy. So I'm gonna say, Andre, you should start.
Fuck, okay, hi. My name is Andre. You can find me at Andre Rivera Art on Twitter and also at AndreRivera.art, where you can see my art portfolio as well as some of the series that I'm on, including Tragedy Theolosion, including The Animalist, including The Unicorn Hunt, which I co-GM'd with Alex, including The Red Line.
Everyone's frozen.
Oh, damn it. Damn it. I knew there was some fuck shit going on.
You love fuck shit.
Oh, damn it. That's okay. The stream will be able to watch my Google while I look for reference pictures.
Okay, great.
You can also check my Twitter for if commissions are open, which they will be soon. I promise. I keep saying that, but I mean it. I do mean it.
I believe
it this
you.
time.
It's true. Christian.
Oh man, we're going to the person on the last one. Hey everybody, my name's Christian, aka Fluffy Goomba, on several socials, mainly on TikTok, but you can also find me on Twitch every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday, playing a variety of games with a variety of wonderful people. You can also find me here on TotalPartyKiss on Sundays, usually at 8 p.m. EST, playing Ragna of the Iron Claw, Leonin Econite Fighter for Tragedy of Theolosion. But right now, I'm just chilling out. Also, maybe soon, probably soon, maybe next month, I will be GMing for the first time ever.
Yay!
And I couldn't be more excited.
Let's go Power Rangers.
You're doing great. It's gonna be great.
Thanks. I'm really excited. It's a source material that I really love and I really want to do justice. So, and I know the people who I'm playing with are excellent in all facets. It's gonna be like I said, myself. It's gonna be Andre. It's gonna be Dylan. It's gonna be AJ, Who's Your Kid. It's gonna be Wally. And it's gonna be Serenity, aka Clingy Clacksex, aka our wonderful GM. And I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. You're gonna be
so
great.
good. I'm very excited to watch it.
Sloan.
Hello. My name is Sloan, aka Arplay. My pronouns are they, them. I play Bastian, a little he, him, bastard, bitch boy, man, wizard guy, and I do a lot of other stuff everywhere on the internet.
Cool.
Good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's all I got.
love that for you.
Depth. My love.
Hello, I'm Depth, like the ocean. You can find me on all the things via Chaotic Bunny. I go by they, them pronouns, and on this lovely show, I play Melaena, who goes by she, her pronouns. She's a little rogue cleric, angsty little bitch. And yeah, and I have an exciting thing in the works at the moment, but other than that...
Hell yeah.
I forgot about that.
Mm.
I need to do more research with Christian and Depth.
Oh, yeah. So,
Ooh, not this one.
So,
This
Tragedy of Theolosion. What's that about?
You know, just some fuck shit.
I feel like I can perhaps give a pretty decent, like, overall view of what's going on.
Yes.
I love that. I was teasing, but I actually do want to hear this.
Yes.
Okay, so a bunch of champions who were selected by various gods for various reasons were directed towards a place. It may have been an island. There were a lot of islands involved at some point. I don't remember.
Yeah.
However,
there were bad islands too. There were like no one goes there.
Yeah. And they all got together and basically got a champion's quest of, hey, there are a lot of people out there asking for help right now, like a weird amount of people, and y'all need to go and figure out what's happening. And since then, the party has been on a trip to do that. On the way, they have successfully completed one arc in which they slayed a viper queen who was potentially infecting the minds of the people who she interacted with.
That sounds right.
Maybe unsure. There have definitely been brain worms that take over your mind.
Sure.
There have definitely been wyverns. Lots of wyverns.
Lots of wyverns?
One of our guest characters actually had a brain worm.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah. Lots of gold X's in the eyes, and lots of us trying desperately to figure out what's going on, because Serenity is a little puzzle master and won't tell us what's happening.
Yeah, I think we should talk about Serenity for a moment. So Serenity is the DM for this campaign. This homebrew inspired by Greek mythos is all kind of coming out of her glorious brain. And I think she's got to be definitely one of the, like, she definitely pulls no punches as a DM by any means.
Oh, no.
Like, your fights are
Brutal.
Hard as dude, right?
Yeah.
Vindication.
I watch your combats and go, no.
They're nuts.
Yeah.
They're nuts.
Okay, so in honor of Serenity not being here, what is the most fucked up fight she's ever put you through?
Very easily our most
Fucking
recent
boss
fight with those fuckers who stole my money. Some random
The
guys
bandits, yeah.
stole my money. And Bastian was like, "You're not gonna fucking steal my money. Fuck you." And like cast a spell at these guys, and then like I think that all of us went down at one point during that fight. I don't know, maybe Kazimir stayed
No,
up.
Kazimir stood up the whole time, which was bullshit.
But it was ridiculous. And then at the end of that fight, Ragna had a whole thing. But that shit was fucked up.
Yeah.
It was so rude.
It's also because we just got finished with our last boss fight, so we were like, this fight's gonna be easy. This fight's gonna be so simple.
Yeah.
We're champions. We're level 7.
I had so much confidence going in. I'm like, fuck these guys. They took my money. I just defeated the Viper Queen, baby. And then they just like
Wipe the
totally beat the shit out of us. We managed to get away from it with my money, which is the most important thing.
Thank God.
your money and then some.
Yeah. Plus minus a few bruises.
Yes. Yeah.
Andre, I see you're pulling like inspiration. Do you want to tell us like what kind of things you're pulling?
Yes, I am simply going through a lot of the photos that I took on my trip. I just got back from Southern California. I was staying with the lovely, as you can see here, the lovely Sarah's Coffee. They were such a wonderful host. And we went to a few different places in LA. I also went down to San Diego to meet with Nicole, a trans tiefling, as well as Wes, Arcane Anthems, and we went to the San Diego Zoo together which was wonderful. But I'm just going through and pulling out some different pictures from my travels there, as well as from my earlier New York trip that I went to visit Christian at, as well as Dylan and some other folks. I'm just kind of pulling out just some inspo. I was specifically going to pull some images from this Greek section from the Met, which was so wonderful, so great. But yeah, so part of it is just like organizing, but also I will be doing drawing soon. So
cool. So you all know that I started tuning into Tragedy, the newer episodes live, like, I don't know, a few months ago, and then decided that it was the greatest thing that is on television, and went back and started rewatching from the beginning. So I have a weird, like, sort of perspective on the show right now, because I have seen the very most recent episodes, and I have seen the earliest 8 episodes, and nothing in between. So I am getting a glimpse of, like, who your characters were like in the very beginning of the story and what they are like now. And I have zero context for how they got from point A to point B.
Oh my god.
They are very different. And I want to hear, because I have my thoughts, obviously, but I want to hear from each of you, if you don't mind, like, all of the, like, the ways you think your character has changed the most from throughout the course of this long-standing campaign.
Who wants
She doesn't
to
listen to her mom anymore.
What did you say?
what did you say?
She said she doesn't listen to her mom anymore.
No.
I thought you said she doesn't have a mom anymore, and I was like, okay.
That would be catastrophic.
She doesn't have a dad.
Yeah, she doesn't have a dad anymore. Important clarifying.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to go first?
I'll go first, since it might be the simplest. I mean, Ragna was a kid with no story, right? He didn't think he had any story. He didn't think he didn't feel like he was worthy of being called a champion. He still kind of doesn't, but he's accepting that more. And even like with this most recent episode that came out, where he went to the forge and was like, "Hey, I'm the champion. Listen to me." But like early Ragna would not have done that at all. He wouldn't have admitted it. He wouldn't have said it with bravado. He thought it was honestly a mistake. He still thinks it's weird, but he's learning to accept that, and accept that he deserves to be part of this group of people, and he's earning that every day he's with these people. And at first he didn't trust them, or he's wary of them, I should say, and now he trusts them wholeheartedly. He knows that they are good people. He knows that, like, these people are people that I could be with for a very long time, and he wants to be.
Cool.
So you hear me, Kazimir?
Yeah, Kazimir.
You're in it for the long haul.
What was that? I'm sorry. I was busy looking at this beautiful multi for Bastian.
Yes.
I am so surprised to hear you. I mean, I guess I didn't really put it together that it was like, I don't deserve to be with these people. But Bastian was there. Why?
Well,
was it like, I don't deserve to be with these people except for him?
No, not even. Because even meeting Bastian early on, Bastian, despite his con man background, he wasn't trying to con anybody in the party, and he wasn't being malicious or anything like that. Like, whenever they talked, it was like meeting someone as close to his age as possible. but seeing them from such a different background, it was interesting. And so like quickly understanding who Bastian was and seeing that deep down in quotation marks, he's got a good heart, and that he's helping despite his reputation in changing whole subclasses.
Yeah, that is true. That did happen.
That did happen.
Changing whole subclasses to better benefit the people around him. That proved to Ragna that he's good. I can trust him. He's making the right plays. He may fuck up, but what person doesn't?
Huh. Interesting.
He's putting in effort.
Huh. I'm realizing that you felt the same way about early campaign Bastion as I feel about Izzy Hands from
your little Blorbo you love so dearly.
Oh my god.
He's not a good man, but I wanna put him in a jar and shake him around and study him. I wanna know what makes that bitch tick.
I really should have put Sloan bringing up our flag means death onto the bingo card for today.
Yeah.
Bringing up Izzy Hands, like.
How many minutes are we in? 10?
Like 20. Yeah.
There.
Yeah, we got there.
Incredible.
Amazing.
I can go next, unless Steph, you want to go next.
No, you go.
I mean, Bastian is not an insufferable piece of shit to be around anymore. He had love introduced to his life, which his whole conceit for me when I was making him was that this man is a loveless man. He truly does not have any sense for what a regular, healthy relationship is. Not that everyone who's like growing up has like an accurate sense of exactly what a perfect, healthy relationship is, and like striving for perfection is not the goal. But his relationships were particularly messed up in a very specific way. And I wanted him to have the arc of he is a shitty rich boy, but he's getting better. And so he's definitely had that change. And I mean, spoilers, but you'll see it later. It comes from like meeting Aphrodite, who's literally like love incarnate. And it comes from being with these folks and honestly a lot of fights with the party members.
Yeah,
Just a lot.
As a party, you don't have
we fight.
You don't have a lot of like. Sometimes you have an emotional chit chat that resolves things, but most of your interpersonal conflict is definitely handled in an argument.
We confront
and I
each other
respect
on
that.
a constant basis. Confrontation, immediate confrontation, not like bottled up and boiled over. No, it's like you said the thing. We need to talk about it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is what Ragna says every 10 minutes on the show. It's my favorite tragedy recurring theme is people not wanting to talk about things and then Ragna being like, I don't care what you want. We're going to.
Guys don't care about your feelings. I do.
We're going to talk about them.
Oh my god. Yeah. So he's changed a lot through arguments and also mostly more arguments.
Awesome.
I will talk about Melaena in like 2 minutes. My fruit is here, so.
Also,
it's not just arguing with the party; it's arguing with gods too.
Oh yeah, we're very confrontational with gods.
Yeah.
Not here.
That's what got him there in the first place, man.
Yeah. But no, keep it up. It's very entertaining. Love it.
Yeah, we're definitely doing this for clout.
Yeah. It's so good. The fights with gods, you are very bold as a group in that way. There's not a lot of fear, it seems, in terms of the gods.
I think the gods also deeply respect that.
Yeah.
But they haven't killed him yet, so.
Yeah.
They have not. They have
Shockingly, we're still alive.
Have you... Wait. Okay, you have had to fight some gods.
Yes.
which gods? All right, is there a god that you haven't fought yet that you're like that you would be like?
We don't
piss your
want.
pants
I don't
scared
want
of?
to. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
Well, we haven't talked about how Kaj has changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to give a break because I know the Depth had to step away, and
Right.
we can come back to that question.
I mean,
I'm gonna think about that question though. The whole thing.
yeah.
Even the gods that we have interacted with, there's like one god that we've truly fought, and that's Enyo.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And that shit was fucking scary.
That shit sucks.
Yeah, Ragna took the brunt of it.
Mm-hmm.
I am terrified of all of them. I'm absolutely certain that I would disintegrate immediately. Oh my god, look at that phone case. That's
Phone
Andre
case?
Cockapoo.
Oh.
Oh my God!
I was
It's.
wondering where I got this really cool phone case.
Oh yeah.
Andrew Rivera art on Redbubble.
Yeah. You can get you too can get a little chunky flightless
A little
parrot.
guy.
Oh my god, it's so cute.
Look at them. God, that fight with Enyo was terrifying.
That was you fully like played tug of war with a god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her champion.
Fun fact: I'm a player who doesn't like to split from the party. I hate that because
Yeah.
Yet.
all the horror stories. But I was like, let's try it out this time. You know, let's have fun. I want to see what all the hubbub is about. Immediate regret.
Yeah.
Immediate regret.
Immediate regret. I was like, why do people like this? I hate this shit. Oh, I had to fight for my life. And then
Jeff, are you ready to talk about your character, or are you gonna eat
Yes.
some fries?
I am absolutely ready. It's 10:30 a.m. I got breakfast. I have a hash brown. But
Sorry.
Yeah. It's a what?
I'm so happy for you.
But Melaena, I feel like there's very slight differences that Melaena has changed. I don't think she's changed as drastically as like Ragna or Bastian has. It has been very slight in like trusting people and kind of not being as like self-punishing as she always is. Don't ask me why, but I always tend to make characters that always kind of self-punish themselves, and it's always very interesting to go through the journey of how they stop doing that to themselves. But I think Bastian has helped. Bastian and Ragna have probably helped a lot in terms of like Bastian more so in kind of saying like, oh, there's this person who has done shitty things and is unapologetic for it. And like
yeah.
on the flip side has interacted with Ragnar, who hasn't had true tragedy in his life.
Ready?
And kind of I don't know, it's
Uh-oh.
very strange how what?
Sorry, we were frozen for a second.
It's very interesting how she takes from different people, but yeah, it's very slight in how like she's changed and how she's kind of taken kind of from everyone in the party.
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't really answer the question, but
You did.
You did. You absolutely did.
If I throw my hat in the arena for Melena's changes, their whole saga with their mom.
Oh
that's
yeah.
true. I completely forgot. She has
You
mommy
went
issues,
from
yeah.
being a little mama's baby to being like, fuck you, mom. It's not a phase. I'm staying here.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
That's a pretty
Yeah.
big change.
Yeah.
Yeah, gaining one's independence from their parent, especially
Yeah.
a helicopter
Especially
parent
When
with
you're
the night sky.
yeah.
It was
That
so
is an
interesting because I
escalation.
didn't. The storyline that was not the storyline I intended for Melaena at all. It was very much started off with like Melaena has like a very loving mother, But it has been it has been very good to kind of act out what could someone view as a very loving mother figure, and like a healthy relationship from the outside perspective can actually be a little bit toxic and not at all healthy. So that has been very fun for me.
Yeah. From the outside, it was very unhealthy. Just want to throw that out there. From outside perspective, can confirm.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yep.
It was very bad.
How did you feel watching Nyx say "Come on home" to Melaena immediately?
I yelled at you as though you could hear me. I yelled at all of you, and I tried to intervene. I scream and yell at my television.
I just remember
Sometimes.
me and Andre going like shaking our hands and being like,
No.
this
Mm-mm.
is not good.
And when
That's some
Melaena
fuck
was
shit.
like, I think I should go home. I was like, you
You dumbass.
fucking
You
No.
idiot.
You dumb bitch.
You're not doing that. We're not having that.
Nuh-uh.
Imagine us when that happened live. We were like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And
quest.
the wildest part was that Depp was like, yeah, I think I gotta make a new character. Do you remember that? Do you fucking remember that?
Seriously considering changing characters like 2 weeks in. We're like, what the fuck?
What are you talking about?
My mom was like, I think you should come home, honey.
I didn't expect Serenity to be like, hey, come home, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I don't know.
I was worried for a second, fully knowing that Melaena is still a part of the campaign. I was like, why? Is she?
Listen,
Serenity loves those tough choices, baby.
I was like, do I? Is this a serious thing? Like,
Serenity will fully like pitch you up some real tough choices. It hasn't happened to me yet, thankfully. When we get to Marinid, I'm sure it will be a shit show.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's-
sure. Yeah.
I've definitely seen it for Ragna depth. Ragna, Melaena, and Kazimir. Like,
Yes.
tough choices, especially with the arc that we're currently in with Kazimir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everybody.
tough decisions.
Kazimir's having a bad time, but he's pretending to have a good time.
Talk
Yeah.
about your character group?
Yeah. Please do.
Yeah. So, Kaj, I think the biggest thing for him is like when, like, prior to the campaign starting, I think Kazimir thought he had a purpose and then lost it. So I think really the big thing for him is that he feels like he has a purpose again. In life of like, oh, like I'm like not just here to like do people's work. Like I actually have like a reason to do what I'm doing and not just like just basically be like a machine. Like I can do things beyond just, you know, just being strong
Beating the shit out of people.
or beating the shit at people. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's great.
Yeah. That is great. Until the most recent. current
Yeah.
events.
Yeah.
But we don't talk about that.
We're having a
Yeah.
little backside. It's okay.
Yeah.
Growth is a spiral.
Yeah, it's not a forward march. It's a little dance.
Yeah. It's a tango.
It's a cha-cha slide.
A little-
Take it back now, y'all.
Oh my god. Because in with just one word, you've created recreated the dance scene in my head, except it is Ragna and Kazimir doing that dance.
What is that like?
I feel. What if it was like? Oh wait. Okay, but hear me out.
Mhm.
What if it was Kazimir and because you know how in the scene it's like there are people dancing, but the the person who's like singing the solo isn't dancing the whole time. He's kind of like stalking around the outside. What if that was like Ragna and Kazimir and Janelle were doing the dance?
Are they doing the dance? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's much better.
Good.
Damn it. Well, now I have to listen to that. Thank you. Yeah, Kazimir definitely is like very different to watch. Everybody seems very different to watch. The biggest difference besides your like individual characters is like the way everybody interacts with each other. Like in the beginning, obviously there's sort of like, there are some like fast chemistries that come up like pretty early on. But overall, it's a very tense party for several episodes long.
Sure.
And to now like enter these newer episodes and seeing how you've all changed as a party, and particularly like Melaena being very close to members of the party is very like interesting. She was very standoffish in the beginning. Yeah.
Sure.
Or just go perch places.
That fear of stabbing people will do that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just stabbing people in your sleep.
Yeah.
That is
You know,
true.
just casually.
That's casual.
Just
yeah.
casually.
But you haven't stabbed any of us on accident
Yes.
in our sleep.
I'm waiting for it.
Oh my god.
But yes, lots of differences.
I
Lots of
also,
changes.
I remember we were in Indios, and it was the scene of like all of us had to sleep in the same bed, and Melaena was freaking the fuck out. And Kazimir was like, "You can sleep next to me," and Melaena was like, "I will kill you," and Kazimir was like, "You can try,"
Yeah.
and just being like,
It was
"A
so
dagger
bad.
will not kill me."
He's a
So bad in
fucking
that bed- it was so bad in
bird.
that bed scene that we took watch.
Mhm.
We took watches to make
Yeah.
sure to comfort Melaena.
Wow.
And I got in trouble.
Oh my god,
People got in
what?
trouble
What
because
the
we left.
fuck
Some
is
people may have
this?
Hey,
left.
Serenity dangled a plot hook in front of me. What was I supposed to do? Not suck on it?
Suck on a plot point? Is that?
You know the plot point you're talking about.
All
Are you
right.
sure that's
Like
sanitary?
a big juicy teat.
Big, huge plot hook just right in front of my face.
So
Yeah.
tantalizing and sexy.
Yeah.
You have to just.
Man.
These are sounds and words that are sexy and not disturbing.
Uh-huh.
Very sexy. Yeah. So I had asked another question. What was it? The gods that you're dreading.
God, we're dreading Aries.
Yeah, Aries. Aries is the biggest.
Aries for
Mm-hmm.
It's
I don't know if this counts, but Zeus's kid.
yeah.
Zeus's
Zeus's
kid.
mystery kid.
Jesus Christ, that
I
kid?
know Aries. I know what he's about. I know what he's gonna do. Do I know anything? Do I know anything about Zeus's kid or what they're going to do?
Fuck no.
Absolutely fuck not. And
Fuck
that's
no.
more terrifying.
But for the record,
That's fair.
just to cover what we're talking about, Zeus allegedly, potentially has a secret kid, and the champions have been sort of given this prophecy that intimates that Zeus's kid will bring about another like Titanomachy end of the world kind of situation. And so we're kind of trying to figure out like, is this even real? Because he did have it's not really an affair because I think they were hooking up before he got with Hera.
Yeah.
But it was, who was it? Who was the
Metis.
Metis. So they allegedly had like a thing, and Metis got pregnant, and then allegedly like Zeus ate her before she could like have the kid / Zeus like told her to like split before she had the kid, something like that, and got rid of it. So we're trying to figure that out. Also, Zeus has a champion somewhere, and I want to meet that bitch so I can throw sand in his face.
That's been our goal from day one, where we were like, "Oh, Zeus got a champion? It's on site."
It is on site. As the champion of Hera, I'm legally obliged.
You very much are. Oh,
you think
my
you guys will like hate fuck?
It might happen. It depends on how far along we are in the campaign. We'll see. But Ares and Zeus's kid are both very, very terrifying. Ares has very much been kind of like hinted as like maybe potentially a big bad or like a tool for a big bad in the campaign. I feel like, I don't know, what do y'all think?
I was attacked by his sugar mama, so I don't know. Oh, no, I was attacked by his like fangirl, so I don't know.
Yeah, him and Enyo are pretty tight because Enyo is the goddess of blood.
And
So
bloodshed and
she wants a piece of that.
She attacked Ragna on Ares' behalf because Hephaestus champion Ares.
Yeah.
I want to fuck with that.
I think that Ares champion is going to be a guest. Looking at you in the chat, who just tucked their hair behind their ear.
I'm so sorry to tell you all. AJ has confirmed to me that he is not playing a champion of Ares.
Oh, really?
That is correct. All I know is that he's a bitch and that and that he's a paladin. So I'm nervous.
Oh, a paladin, you say?
A paladin. And I have many a night talks to I almost said VJ, AJ in group chat and in VC, being paranoid about like, okay, so like if you did Oath of Redemption, you would have
these skills and
these skills, and like Oathbreaker could fuck shit, and just like absolutely being paranoid.
Said from the beginning, like when we were first talking about this tournament arc before like AJ even like was going to be a guest, I said like the one thing that would be close to be taking you down would be a paladin with their fucking smite.
Their smites,
that's true.
Yep, because you can't half that.
Can't have it.
That is true. That is true. Paladin or druid?
Paladin or druid.
Yep. And druids are squishier.
Druids are squishier, but they can like, as long as they have wild shapes.
They've got tanks, so basically.
Yeah.
We've already had a druid though, and
we've already had a druid, and I did almost kill Sedima.
Sedima?
Yeah.
Sedima gave me anxiety, and I didn't like that.
Sedima is.
I don't know, Sedima was pretty good.
What a wild guest experience that was. So have you just had the two guests, or am I missing?
We also had Grim, who was
Grim and Sarah. Is there anybody else?
That's it.
No.
And then AJ will be our third. We don't have a lot of guests on Tragedy.
Yeah. Which is good. You have lots and lots of time to like build the party story, and I think that works better. But Sedima is a wild guest character. I just got there myself in this watch through, I should say, and it's very clear that Sarah was like watching the show very religiously before coming onto it, because they came with barbs personalized for every single person in the cast. It's wonderful, remarkable, absolutely
Very good.
incredible.
Google, how is this a bowl? Explain.
I think one of my favorite moments was the fact that like when Sedima first came on, Melaena was truly like, the gods aren't that bad, like they're just trying their best, and by the end of it Melaena was like, fuck the gods.
The conversion rate with Sedima was pretty high.
Yeah. I think that was a great device that they used there to like just influence everybody to just be just completely seething with hatred for anything that touches the gods. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah. I just remember the thing where they were like, so you're all followers or worshippers of the gods, and everybody in the party was like, ah!
No, we're not like that.
I'm related.
But no one was like, yeah, work with the gods. We're like,
You can't pick your family. I didn't have a say in that. Yeah. So, okay. So, all right. I wanted to ask about gods that you were dreading to fight. Of the gods that you have already met so far, not all of them have been antagonists to you.
mm-hmm.
Some of them have been allies and otherwise. Who are the favorites of the gods that you've met that have not tried to kill you?
Aphrodite.
Yeah.
Aphrodite's great.
Yeah, Aphrodite's a winner.
Aphrodite.
She's really good.
I feel like Aphrodite has kind of been Serenity's little self-insert.
She's like, you're doing a great job, kids.
You're doing a great job.
You're doing great, sweetie.
We take that shit and eat it up. We're like, yay!
Yay! Thank you.
Yeah, Aphrodite. I'm also a personal fan of Hera, actually, outside of character. Bastian is a personal fan of Hera too, but like he wouldn't say that out loud.
Sure.
So, just like she's a bitch, and I love bitches.
Yeah.
I love bitches.
We love
'Cause
bitches.
I don't remember who said this or where, but bitches get shit done, and like she is so hot and capable, and she's got a shit ton of damage, but if she wasn't fucked up, I wouldn't love her as much. Like she's got a lot of damage, but this is a thing that made me like, god damn you, Serenity. I can't hate her now, was that I think it was either Aphrodite or like Athena had a conversation with, not Athena, Artemis, I can't remember, had a conversation with Hera that was like, listen, you gotta, like, we have to figure out your, like, communication methods, because this relationship with your champion is just not working out. It's just, like, you need to learn how to talk to people. And Bastian, like, had the same conversation with someone else, and I was just like, fuck you. So I love her very much. The fact that a god is willing to put in the effort to speak to someone, especially, like, a figure as storied as Hera, you know, with like a wealth of folklore attached to her, both in world and in our world. Super tight. I love that. Very, 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 very good.
Hell yeah.
Oh god. I looked up Blue Buffalo and got dog food.
I'm gonna throw I'm just gonna praise my deity, or Ragna's deity, real quick. Hephaestus is great. I love Hephaestus because he's just a straight shooter.
Yeah, he doesn't bullshit.
He doesn't bullshit. Yeah. He's just as nervous to talk to as Ragna is to talk to Hephaestus, but not nervous as a like celestial being to mortal. He's just a guy.
He's just a guy.
He's just a guy.
An awkward little guy.
Yeah, Ragna's like just like guy too, and it's like it's great to see that them just trying to communicate and break each other out of their shells, because they can see each other's shells, but they won't admit that they're of their own.
Yeah.
It's like maybe you could talk with more people. And he's like, no. You're like, okay.
Nah.
And
it's like unstoppable force meets immovable objects, but it's just both of their tendencies to avoid the issue, just like hammering against each other at the same time.
Yep. And it's very cute to see Hephaestus and Aphrodite interact.
Yes.
Because she loves him.
Yes, that's right.
I love the dynamic so dearly.
I appreciate that Serenity took their dynamic and made it not problematic.
Yeah. Like, on the topic of like Serenity like making like changes to like mythology, I just want to like really quick praise about how like well that Serenity has just kind of melded D&D mythos with traditional Greek mythos. Like you have Enyo, who is the goddess of vampires, as well as like the traditional like domains, or you have like the goddess like we have Lolth, who is like Arachne, and it's all like just such a good meld of the both. I have been so obsessed with Greek mythology for years, and I don't think I could do it as well as Serenity has done it. Like it's
so tight.
Serenity is, that's one of the things that I really admire about this campaign, is that like to take Greek mythology and say like, okay, but it's not in Greece, that's a very bold move to make. Like, because you could theoretically just be like, yeah, we're just gonna play in like the Mediterranean, and like you can be from Athens or Rome or whatever. Sure. But Foley like was like, nope, no, we're starting over, and made continents and cities and like political factions and wars, and that is wild. That is one of the hardest things to do as a GM, and one of the like, I don't know, like it's just something that like people a lot of times when they're like doing world building stuff, they take for granted, of like making like actual history, because you can make all the cool NPCs you want, but where do they live, and like what's their context and for like where they live. So
and the world feels more lived in for all of the work that Serenity has put into wild. That
Serenity is also like such a good, she has so many little threads that they just dangle in front of us, and every time we pull on one, it's like oh, but it's not the right thread. It's always just on, the answer is always like just beyond what we've got, and it's been like that for 30 episodes.
That's the other part of it too, is that like, because it's not just straight up Greek mythology, that it's kind of a remix, is that this mystery we're trying to solve can't be just like solved through like research. We have to go through the story, which is amazing.
Like, I love that too, because it's like, it's not like something that I can just be like, oh, I know this. It's like, I know this. What's the catch?
The first time Serenity juked us super hard, it was like, I was like, yeah, D&D campaign with my friends. What? What was that? Because there's it's just like, before I had only known Serenity in the context of like other campaigns that we had been in as a player and as co-players. And so to have them in the like driver's seat and to pull that off so well, it was kind of like an oh shit, okay, so this is what you're like as a DM. It's nuts. It's nuts. They have like so much brain.
Such a big brain.
It's the fact that we keep learning, like we learn something new every time, and we're like, what the hell? And what is he talking about? And it's every week, and we're like,
there's something new.
We're not tired of it, which is even greater.
Because it's never like, and Serenity is also very good at like hiding the truth from us and just being like, sure, okay, go with your assumption and see what happens. And every time we get juked.
Every time.
Yeah. Because you think a cliffhanger would make you like, too many cliffhangers would leave you exhausted. You're like, oh god, again. But no, every single time, we're like, can't do it again. It can't.
And yet,
surely the answer will be the one that we go for first.
Like there was literally a time where we were like, okay, that's it, right? We're done with the session. She's like, no.
There's more.
There's more.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah. No, you're not done. You have to. You're about to be fought. Yeah. Serenity does that so well. It makes for a freaking exciting show, and I can't even like imagine what it's like to be along on that ride, you mentioned like the first time, do you remember what the first like thing that she surprised you with, like that she like threw you for a loop with?
For us, it's the reveal of what the golden X's aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was huge. I'm trying to remember what the first time was, because it was well before that. I think it
wasn't-
It might have been like the first episode.
It wasn't the
Because-
voice in the sky. Because that came like around like episode 10 or 11, I think.
Really?
Yeah, about it not being Zeus.
Yeah. Spoilers. Sorry, Dylan.
I'm good. I'm along for the journey, not the facts.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it had to have been something like. It had to have been something more simple.
Is it the gun?
Oh, the gun! The gun! The gun! There's a gun! There has been one gun the whole series, and it was episode 2.
You know what? We're in a city. I'm gonna make it my mission to get Melaena a fucking gun. Melena's gonna get a gun.
So for context, this is in this like high fantasy remix of Greek mythology with wizards and gods. In episode 2, they run into a bartender who pulls out a sawed-off shotgun and starts shooting at them. So
that actually like might have been it, because I think it was that I think that it was the fact that like the big surprise to me was that Serenity doesn't pull punches, because Serenity is so kind. Serenity is so nice and lovely. And as a player, she is so giving in like interactive situations, and even not in those situations, they will like give you an assist so that you can go in and like score your goal. Sports references. But
Sports.
But then in the game, I was like, oh yeah, cool, combat. What? Like,
yeah.
A gun? On God?
We all joked about it. We were like, what are they gonna
Say
pull out?
psych right now?
And then they pulled out a magical shotgun.
Yeah.
A magical shotgun.
So I think that was probably the first like surprise bitch, was like just the fact that they really slapped the shit out of us, and I was just shocked.
Because they warned us. They were like, hey, the combat is gonna be deadly, and we're like, okay, sure.
Oh yeah.
Okay, typical D&D warning of this campaign's gonna be hard. And we're like, okay, we've played D&D before.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
We've been around the old block 1 or 2 times.
I'm shocked that she hasn't killed us at least once. Because it's come close. That bar fight.
Bar fight.
Fucking bar fight.
Ziggurat is the first time, I think, for us, for me personally, it was like Ziggurat was like, oh, this shit is real.
Yeah, that was when the fighter was like, oh, I'm in danger? Like, danger? Meanwhile, the wizard has been like, I'm gonna fucking disintegrate.
Yeah.
The RPG goes hard, but the fights go even harder.
It's true.
Yeah.
And I always have the worst luck on rolling death saves. I think like it's been at least 3 or 4 times now I've rolled a nat 1 on a death save.
That's very
God, it's so stressful every time.
It used to happen with like my other characters. I don't know what it is. Anytime I roll a death save, I just always roll 1s. I hate it. It's so stress-inducing.
Have you considered
Letting the dice smell your fear.
you considered being good at rolling dice?
Wow.
Have you thought about
I
getting good?
have, but I have to pay my penance for being so hot.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Remember your vampire boyfriend? Your vampire sugar daddy?
Wait, what?
Dylan's trying to ask a question. Oh, damn it.
Wait.
Dylan, I think that this would have happened in the in-between episodes. This would have been right before sort of the arc that we're on right now. This was in the Vampire Queen arc.
Oh,
I did temporarily have a vampire sugar daddy.
Wonderful.
It's true.
Wonderful. Actually, that makes a lot of sense.
Vampire Queen? Viper Queen.
Okay,
Jesus.
And then they showed up on a combat map, and we knew it was fucking over.
Oh yeah. The fact that Serenity,
Body was on
there was a body and the glass was already broken in the pre-rendered map.
Oh, God.
She said,
Serenity was planning
"Oh,
on the beginning from
oh, this
killing-
character will in fact die."
I was like, the second that was happening, I was like, okay, first thing Melena's gonna do is to like revive him, like throw him some kind of healing spell. The second I saw that he was on the map, I was like, oh.
No, it's meant to be.
That's a waste of
Over.
time. I'm not wasting a spell for that.
I say this a lot for a lot of things. He was born to die. Like,
Wow. You know,
his body was on the combat map, and we all went, oh.
mm-hmm.
Oh.
Wow. Well, rip.
Rip.
Well, rip.
Well, rip.
He'll get there soon and be like, yep, rip.
Yep. No, I was going to say, to add, that it's not just the combats in this game that are very difficult. The trials and puzzles and things that you are all put through are also wild, for sure. Most recently, the trial that you had to go through in the Colosseum.
I was so stressed.
I know.
We have one brain cell.
Dylan, you were watching that while it happened. What was it like?
I sure was. Have you ever gotten secondhand anxiety from a social situation?
Oh, shit.
Lord.
I was watching that, and as Serenity like explained what the actual trial was going to be once you were inside, and as the words like came out of their mouth and I like understood, and I was just like, oh, that was tricky. You sneaky.
They knew how impatient we were.
Yeah,
How
sorry.
impatient
Go
we
ahead,
were.
Christian.
Sorry, it's like they knew how impatient we were to get this fucking over with.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna let
And
them-
totally took advantage of that. They 100%. Serenity did a little DM trickaroo.
Yep. Trickaroonie.
And you know, in that moment, I wasn't even mad about it. I was like a little mad, but I was mostly just kind of
Well, wait.
like, this is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
This is fantastic. I froze for a second, didn't I?
For just a
Yeah.
second, but you're back.
I get so competitive, and at the moment, I was really competitive at that time, and I felt bad because I was so competitive. I'm like, what the fuck is this? But
but you all made it.
Oh,
all made
we did
it.
so much better than all the other fucking stupid ass teams.
all failed.
All the other teams failed, and you just you did some little.
Because Bastian was fucking clutch and has magic teleportation shit.
Dimension door, baby.
God, one day I'll play a magic user.
Okay,
The thing about that trial is a lot of us have teleportation ability.
Teleportation. Teleportation.
Okay.
I use big words.
Wow. No mercy. No mercy
Yep,
in this
no
chat.
mercy. Nope.
All of us have the teleportation magics
Yes.
Mhm.
in
Yeah.
some way or
Some
another.
capacity or not. But if you're watching that stream, you can fucking see my brain going on overdrive, trying to fucking figure out how exactly, because Ragna can't move, but he can teleport. And he's got he's got blind sense, and I'm like, okay, it's fine there. But then I was like, I'm not the one who's blindfolded. Shit, fuck. And it's just a fucking them.
Literally, I think the same thing was happening with me. It was just the fucking gears in my head turning up smoke because they were turning so fast.
Oh yeah. My internal fan was not working. You could see my eyes like twitching, like figuring like trying to like.
How are we gonna do this?
There was
equations
a moment.
flying past my head. I'm like, okay.
There was a moment while I was watching that where one of you like said what you thought that the situation was, where you were like, okay, so Kazimir is gonna be walking, and
Yes.
Bastian will be.
Kazimir's
like,
the leader. He can walk, but he's blindfolded.
right. But I think that like
Other way around.
it was the other way around.
Yes.
I can't even remember it now.
It was the other way around.
It was the other way around
Because it would have been better that way.
Yeah.
Yes,
Because
Kazimir's the
Kazimir-
leader. He's not
Yeah.
blindfolded, but he can't walk. He
Move,
can't like move himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just was like, oh no, it's worse than that.
Concept.
Ragna and Kaj are the heaviest motherfuckers on the planet.
Yeah, both of these bitches.
So
What's interesting is that like once you figured out what to do, it took no time at all, but like the stress of like just the panic of trying to figure out like how to manage it was as exciting as like if you had like been like struggling your way through the actual puzzle. It was very high stakes. The stakes felt so high.
I feel like most of us are very visual learning oriented, and so when someone tries to explain like in words
Sure.
and English language to us what's going on, it just like turns into static in our brains, and like goes
The
through some
dial-up
kind of
turn.
little like meat grinder and comes out the other side completely nonsensical, and we have to ask Serenity 3 times to re-explain what they're talking about because I'm just like, please, just one more. I can't see it. Can you just try it one more time?
Oh my god. But that was scary. That was scary.
I truly loved that, like, I personally had psyched myself up to a point where I thought it was more than the beam. And when we got to the end of the video, I was like, that's it!
you're like, that's it?
That's it!
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I was so focused on what the fuck I had to do that I hadn't listened to the actual description of the fucking arena, and I was like, okay, there's a beam, and there's something else, and there's something else, and I was
With all
like,
respect to Serenity, it was supposed to be so much harder. We just all happen to have teleportation shit, which is wild that we all
is
have
true.
teleportation shit.
That's one of the things that I love about this campaign is that, like, yes, Serenity does throw very difficult things at us, but also, like, we're also busted as shit. And that's, it's fun to play with characters that are, like, even at, I mean, we're level 8, which is honestly higher level than most campaigns ever get to. But just to, like, be playing with characters that are, like, wildly, like, powered beyond, like, what most players are at this level, because we also have, like, all of our boons and shit, too. So.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah.
'cause-
You're all really tough.
It's because we're all powerful, but at one specific thing, right?
Yeah.
We're all maxed to an nth degree for a specific skill or purpose, but then when we're all faced with the same skill which we're all bad at or we're all not expecting, we all go like, and we can't.
That is exactly the sound we make.
We
That
can't
is not
put
my
it in front of our face, and it's like.
That's so
Okay.
true, though. Is that Serenity? The thing is that Serenity throws us these bonkers nutso fights, and one time out of 100, we're like, "Gotcha!" And we feel so cool that we just breeze right through this.
We're
thing.
like, oh
And then
yeah, we
one step
fucking
outside,
nailed
and a
it.
group of fucking kids from the block just come up and sock us in the kneecaps, and we're done.
And then our egos get appropriately checked.
Oh, appropriately checked.
Also, Andre, what is this
Okay.
horror
Yeah,
that you're
talk to us
creating.
about that.
Okay, so these are some images I've taken of different bovine skeletal structures. I'm basically making Kaj anatomically.
This is what Kaj would look like if he became a lich.
Don't put that idea in my brain, Sloan.
Don't put that idea into the universe. I'm
enough. I feel
blocking
like Kazimir
Serenity.
wouldn't become a lich. I feel like someone would see like a lich would see Kazimir and be like, I want you for my undead army.
That's
And
my
Oh, and Kaj would be like, fuck you.
yeah, yeah.
You can't tell me what to do.
What would everyone be like in that villain arc, do you think?
Oh.
Dylan, is it okay if we talk about this? I don't want to.
No, it's fine. That was coming up. Anyway.
Well, you know what?
Can I ask one question before we get to that question?
Sure.
Yeah.
Because Dylan, you brought up gods that we are afraid to fight and gods that we love. I want to talk about gods that we'd love to fight, and I would like to posit Hermes. Fuck that
Fuck
guy.
him!
Yeah.
What a bitch.
The entire time.
What a little shit.
No,
Oh,
fuck
bitch.
Hermes.
I would
Yeah,
love to fight Hermes.
agree.
I'd love to fight Zeus if he had both of his hands tied behind his back and also like a blindfold on, maybe.
Yeah, I don't want to see you fight Zeus, but I also do.
I want to fight the
Hermes is the right answer.
The Furies.
Oh,
The Furies.
God.
Fighting the Furies would be tight. We've already had a lore drop of one of the Furies. No, we had a lore drop for one of the Fates, not the Furies.
One of the fates.
I'm gonna face the Furies.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that part, Dylan, but Lolth, Serenity has kind of like remade Lolth's all her stuff so that she is one of the Fates, kind of tying in her like spider
Right.
web weaving and all that jazz.
Yeah.
It's so good. I have goosebumps.
good.
I love
Very
that.
good.
So cool.
That's just my one question. We can go back to the
Yeah,
other one now.
no, it's great. Yeah, villain arcs. What are you all gonna be like in your villain arcs?
Well, stay tuned for the next few episodes of Tragedy of Theologian and you'll find out.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
I will say, though, this is probably, within the campaign, the closest that Kosh will get to a true, like, possible change into a villain. Because he's reverting back to that image and, like, is going to go hard. So.
Yeah. It's gonna go cutthroat.
I think Melaena could very well be close to going into a villain arc with kind of her goal at the moment, which spoiler alert is to bring her dad back from the dead. So I feel like that could very well quickly turn into a villain arc if like the wrong people try to like stop her with the wrong reasoning. So I'm very excited for the RP prospects of like
Oh my god.
when she gets close to like succeeding. But I feel like if she ever had a villain arc, it would be that if she was stopped without like without her wanting to stop, that could very well like get her into a villain arc.
Wow. I hate that. Wow. Melaena.
I'm going to take this opportunity to air a little bit of guilt and say, like, I still feel so bad about losing those episodes with Grimm as a guest. Oh my god. I tried going back and like trying to find like some like clips from it, and all I could find was Death trying to attempt a Kazimir voice and sounding Jamaican.
Yes, Italian Jamaican depth. Yes.
Oh no.
Yep.
Oh dear God.
It was very funny, but like, God, I wish we had saved those. I want to do something to like put something there to just be like, this is what happened.
Yeah, a little episode summary. Yeah.
We do have kind of a Notion website where we have episode summaries that we've been meaning to like work on to get all of the episode summaries up. So
Episode summary is hard.
So hard.
What's Bastian's villain arc?
Yeah.
what is Bastian's villain arc?
What is
Originally,
Bastian's
I was
villain?
like, I feel like there are like two potential villain arcs, and one of them is like pretty basic because he was already intended to be sort of antagonistic at the beginning, like sort of. He was intended to be antagonistic at the beginning. That was an explicit conversation that I had with everybody on the cast, just to be like, hey, this person is not a good person. I want them to get better, but they're not a good person. And that was him at the beginning, and the reason that he is the way he is because he was raised by just like uber hyper capitalists who are landlords. Like literally his parents own most of the land in Marinid, and so they have like that is their monopoly.
Don't they own like a quarter of all?
They own a quarter of Marinid, is what I remember.
They have a shit ton of land. And all the most powerful families in Marinid have a monopoly of some kind. Land ownership is their monopoly. And so, you know, like one potential villain arc is just that he decides, yeah, I want to be an heir for this. Which would be kind of basic. But Bastian is also a wizard, and like he's very pretty and he's very charismatic, but above everything, he is smart. Like he is very, very, very intelligent, and that gets him into, dare I say, more trouble than anything else. And so like I feel like with wizards, just as a general concept, there's this massive gaping tunnel exit that's just like the bad path. This is the bad direction that you could go. Where like he he has gained knowledge that no one is supposed to have. Like he understands and is gaining more of a grip on Titan language, which is illegal as fuck to even like know about or have any like understanding of. And like I know from discussing his backstory with Serenity that when people tell him no, he's just like, okay, I'm gonna go figure it out myself. Like that is his answer to things. It's
like no doesn't mean stop. It means, okay, you're not helping me.
So you're not gonna help
exactly.
me. I'm gonna move on.
Exactly. No is like you can't go this direction, or at least not in this way. So like he's gonna find a way around it. So I think that like, and the other thing about Bastian is that he does have like a compassionate reflex, which is why his parents fought so hard to like train him out of that, because he did have that compassionate reflex, does have that compassionate reflex, and his parents were like, you have to get your head on straight and like understand that this is a business. Sorry, I heard the laughter in the background from I think Depth's microphone.
No, that was probably someone coughing.
Oh
my god.
It sounded like hilarious laughter.
It sounded like cackling.
It sounded like a cough to me, but
Rip.
I don't know. Might have been both.
Yeah. So I do have to wonder, like Bastian definitely has like a lot of emotional integrity. It's, you know, obviously in the beginning it was more buried or not.
Yes, he has been brainwashed, like a lot of people who are like products of like capitalism / capitalistic families and influences. And I actually think that that's a really kind of beautiful thing that is repeated across all of the characters, is that like every character has like these hang-ups and these issues that like once they are taken out of the environment that is causing those hang-ups and those issues, they suddenly have so much more freedom to like explore who they are and try and mend and heal those things within themselves. And then when they are put back into that environment, it's like an immediate like snap back to what has been happening. But because they've gone through this healing, suddenly there is a roadblock. There's friction, which creates a lot of really interesting character development. But yeah, I feel like if Bastian were to be a bad guy, he could go the just generic, like, I'm gonna use my intelligence and wits to like be the best fucking businessman I could possibly be. But I think that the more grand scheme would potentially be using his intelligence with his like compassionate reflex to do things for other people, like Melena's goal to like revive her father, and being like, no, this is the right thing to do because this is helping other people, and getting into that, and getting into, you know, just because somebody wants this thing doesn't necessarily mean that it's the right thing or the safest thing or whatever else. So I think that those are some
Oh my god,
ads.
that's an interesting concept.
I
Yeah.
also wanted
like he would do a lot for these folks, and he's like, all of his spells that he's learned has been influenced by these folks that he is surrounded with. All
Just
the
call
time.
us friends. It's fine.
That's cute.
Nope.
That's cute. Found family.
One of my favorite scenes with Bastian is when he's first talking with Hera, and he's like, "Who are these people?
why are they nice?
Why are they nice?
Who the fuck are these people?
Who are these people?" And Hera's like, "You mean friends?" Like,
Yeah.
Friends?
that whole conversation is so enlightening for who's Bastian's character, as
And
well
Bastian
as
saying that's not what friends act like.
exactly, and like
Oh.
it's seeing Bastian in a brighter light, because you get to see like, oh, he thinks this is weird. It's like that. And like he thinks
He's messed up.
He's messed up.
Fucked up.
His arrogance is not. His arrogance is masked and is not masked, but it's like it's deep in ignorance, and like you're like, oh, buddy. Oh.
I remember how much my heart broke when Bastian was like, "These aren't what friends act like." Like,
They're like, "This was
I can't
like,
wait
oh,
to bully all of Bastian's old friends.
Yo,
I'm ready to clown on
we're
them.
gonna square up.
You're gonna make me
Yes.
so unpopular.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I remember very vividly one of the first Bastian and Kazimir scenes was them going out on the ocean and fishing, and Bastian was like, "Are you gonna eat me?" It was so funny.
He doesn't want to die.
Of course he doesn't want to die.
No.
Ragna?
Fair. Yeah, Ragna.
And that was also
What's
like,
your villain arc.
no,
we've kind of seen it with Echo,
A little.
a little.
but as I've thought about it, I don't see Echo as an antagonist. I just see Echo as choices gone wrong that he thought was right. That's every villain, right? The
Sure.
choices you think are what's right. And what
Oof.
Ragna
Yeah.
is scope the entire scene out, get all the information first, then act. Echo is act first, worry about the consequences later.
Yeah.
Strike first and make sure that that strike is it.
Yeah.
Because this is a fun fact I don't think will come up in the campaign, but Ragna's family, the Ironclaws, believe we're not going to start fights, but we're sure as hell going to finish them.
Mhm.
Ooh.
That's the adage for the Ironclaw
I
pride.
love Aristocats.
Yes.
I haven't seen that movie recently enough to even understand what you're referencing.
Oh my god, the little like white kitten. She goes, "Ladies don't start fights, but they sure can finish
Finish
them."
Oh my god. Okay.
Yes.
Absolutely adorable.
They're blacksmiths, so they make weapons knowing what those weapons are going to be used for. So I just see evil Ragna as the one who's lost that hope in their eyes,
Oh.
Mhm.
lost
God.
that optimism.
And that's so much of who Ragna is, like
Mhm.
his
so
optimism.
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ragna's optimism is like That's his thing.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like if he just loses that spark of we're here because Kasha's asked him on numerous occasions like, why do you do this? Why go out and help people that you don't know? And it's like because I can, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I have
Yeah.
the ability to. Why shouldn't I? If I can help people, why shouldn't I? And evil Ragna would be like, if he was still on this path of helping people, it'd be like, I'm helping people because they can't get shit done, and they're weak, and they need protection, and they go down that route of like they need protecting. They're nothing.
Damn.
They're
Yeah.
insignificant, and I guess I'll help.
Like
I love that.
Like how cats bring us dead carcasses because they don't think that we know how to hunt for ourselves because they
Yes.
never see us kill anything.
Yep.
So they're like leaving little food out on our doorstep because they're like, wow, this thing doesn't know how to cat very well.
Yeah, this person doesn't know how to do anything right.
Yeah.
I guess I'll help them because I'm so good.
Yeah.
Damn.
I
That's
think
good shit, dude.
Cats definitely have morals.
it's just being. It's
They
just being,
do have morals, of course.
It's being corrupted by the goal. I think,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and it's no longer doing it because you can. It's doing it because you must.
The ends justify the means.
Yes.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
So good.
That's so tasty.
You're still
Do
you're
we
still
wanna-
trying. Yeah, let's take a little break and stretch and come.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure.
Hell yeah.
All right, y'all. We're
I
gonna.
gotta piss.
All right. Go piss.
Go piss.
Go piss.
Bye.
That's
We'll be
Bye.
back in like 10. 10.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
believe.
Hi.
Hi, welcome back. We're doing a little chat about Tragedy of Theologian, the most fucked up show on earth. I am so I'm so excited to be here. I'm Superdillin, and I am just a dedicated fan of the show, who is here to ask questions to my lovely friends about their lovely characters. I'm trying to move past something, okay, so
Aren't we all?
Aren't we all? So, let's see. So, Kazimir, your name is Andre.
That sure
Andre
is.
Andre is drawing. Andre, why don't you tell us all about what's going on over here?
Pretty correct version of Kazimir.
That's correct. Yes. This is a little kind of study of the musculature of cattle. That I took a few photos of different bovines at different museums. This one is from the American Natural History Museum. This one was from the La Brea Tar Pits. And just kind of feeling out more of like a anatomically correct version of Kaj, just because I draw him pretty caricatured most of the time. But just to see what he'd be like in a more realistic proportion.
This is something that I remembered while you were drawing this before we went on to break, and I re-remembered what I remembered, and then I wanted to talk about.
Sure.
You get it. I remember at the beginning of this campaign when everyone was like, we're gonna fuck each other, and now we're all like so solidly in the friend zone. It's insane. Like, am I the only one who feels that way?
Oh
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Has anyone ever almost? Have we had any almost?
Oh no.
Well,
not yet.
well, we've had very like emotionally intimate moments,
Sure.
and
And there is my goal.
Okay.
There is my personal goal.
full
That's
disclosure
romance
is
Bastian.
that I Bastian endgame for me personally. I ship Melaena and Bastian very, very hard.
Hell yeah.
So like there have definitely been some very close moments that are kind of like building up to that, because Depth and I are pretty much on the same page about that.
Wow.
It's been goal since like day one.
Yeah.
Before this campaign even started, I went to site and I was like, I'm gonna romance your character. If I'm successful, that's up to you.
Absolutely incredible.
It's so interesting having because right now they're just like really, really close friends. Even like closer friends than most close friends, because they are champions on a godly trip together. Like,
Yeah, that bonds you.
so, but at the beginning of this campaign, it was like, we're all gonna fuck, we're gonna smash. And now it's just like, I know so much about all of you. Way
I know
more
too
than I
much of
ever
your
wanted to
baggage.
know.
That's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's 'cause even that first episode, we're like, I think even session 0, we were like, confrontation, done. That's it. Nope. Fuck it. Nope. No fucking.
I mean, like, Bastian was pretty heavily hitting on Kazimir, like, at the beginning.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
I'm glad you mentioned it.
And then
he was down for a hate fuck. Like,
yeah.
I'll be honest, this is part of his character. He is very sexually free, and I'm not using promiscuous in like a negative connotation, just in the way that like he had a lot of partners.
Yeah.
Which ended up bringing up some toxic things, not because he was having sex with a lot of partners, but because he was having, like, his relationships were not super well communicated and shit. Just to be Clear, it's not bad that he's a hoe.
No.
That's not bad at all.
No.
The lack of communication and toxic relationship tactics are what made it bad for his emotional health.
Yeah.
I
But,
like how this
fully.
started as like Sloane talking about like our characters fucking each other, but then ended with Sloane having to defend themselves.
I'm just trying to be clear.
I get it.
When you play a shitty character, it kind of like, I don't know, I feel like it falls on me to kind of be like, to be clear, this is bad.
Yeah.
This is bad, and I don't think that it's good, and the whole point is that he gets over it at some point.
Right.
Becomes a better person.
Yes, because it's cathartic.
Communicates about his fucking habits.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah.
Kazimir Bastian?
It's
Question
listen, it's still on the table
Ragna, Bastian?
for Kaj anyway, because like Kaj is like, listen, fucking whatever.
And Ragna's polyamorous.
Do you feel some type of way about that?
Dylan's just like,
I just don't want to interrupt. I want to see where this goes. I'm just letting it.
Well, also like
Full
his partner is a sex worker, so like being exclusive has never been like a thing for either of them. So like, listen,
Yeah.
it's an option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
get some stress relief after the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how much can you?
Yeah?
when you cross. It's like we've crossed the line from like casual hookup to like friendship
Uh-huh.
and like friends with benefits, which is a whole mess of things unless you're really emotionally healthy.
Right.
At what point do you cross over to being like no strings hookup, friends with benefits, intimate hookup? Like, at what point do you kind of like, I know way too much about you to like, I know everything about you, and I'm ready.
Yeah.
Probably when you're emotionally healthy enough to like support your own
Understand.
issues, and then
Does anybody have the answer to that question? Sloan asked, by the way.
None of us are emotionally
Sloan would like to know.
healthy. So, right? Like, none of us are like.
Oh, we're all sorts of fucked up.
We're all so
Yeah.
emotionally and fucked up. So, like, having that moment of sudden, well, fuck, like, it might not come up for a while, even if. But I feel like we've all got each other's backs, and
Right.
we're all ready to listen and help each other at a moment's notice. And I feel like being given a breather might help accentuate if there are feelings for one another.
right,
Like
having some space,
yes, being able to just like breathe in, breathe out, and not
smell the people who we've spent the last couple months with.
right.
But it literally, that's so fucking true, is just like having a little bit of physical distance from these people who you have just been squished together with for the past.
Quite literally on some occasions.
Yeah.
Because we were traveling that desert for like a month and a half.
The fucking
We were all
desert.
close to one another.
That fucking desert.
We all practically knew like bathroom schedules at that fucking point. Cause like
I think the party has known each other nearly like 6 months in game.
That sounds
At this
correct.
point.
Yeah.
We've been
Yeah.
together for so long.
6
Imagine
months.
spending that much time with anyone.
In close proximity,
Yeah.
like
pandemic, but outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't interact with anyone outside of your bubble.
Yup. Wow.
imagine going on like a 6-month study abroad with your coworkers.
And you don't have a car. You just have a wagon with a donkey attached to it, and it's taking you across the sand. And there's nothing for miles.
Thing for miles.
This is so god awful. What a terrible thought that you've put in my head.
What I like is that Serenity not only like inflicted that sort of psychological violence on our characters in game, but also on us out of game. As they
How
took
so?
Just as they took us across the desert, I just felt like Serenity, she did a really good job of just, yeah, you're still on the road. Nope, you're still on the road. Still on the road.
Yeah, Serenity is was
like
especially like during like the desert travel section of Tragedy. It was not afraid to just be like, yeah, you're traveling.
Yeah, and just make us.
This is what an adventure is.
Adventure is a lot of walking, actually. Did you know?
Yeah, so much walking.
We were
Wow.
allowed to break it up with RP only.
Maybe a little bit of
Maybe a skill check,
hand-to-hand
you
combat.
know?
a little violence between party members.
It wasn't
Yeah.
a little violence between party members. It was violence that got our asses kicked.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was us having to scrape our wounds and walk
Hell yeah.
slower. So we're walking, and we're like,
I love this
okay.
campaign.
Love this campaign.
Christian, did you had a question for everybody?
What's one song on on everyone's playlist that represents their feelings now?
Oh, fuck you.
Fuck you, I gotta look up my playlist.
Oh god.
Okay,
Alright.
hold on.
Alright.
Now?
Now.
Jesus.
Hold on.
Hang on, I am currently listening.
If you want me to add, I can
Melaena's
add at the
playlist.
start and then now.
Ooh, at the start and then now. That is
Well,
very, very
no one's gonna know what it
helpful.
is because all my shit's instrumental, but that's okay.
Fair enough.
That's
fair enough.
fine.
That's fair.
Okay, I'm actually listening to this right now and it's kind of fitting. So I'm gonna say at the beginning of the campaign, I mean there's so many fucking ones that I could do, but I'm gonna say Prima Donna Girl by Marina and the Diamonds because it was the first song I ever added to the playlist. I was like, this is my conceit for this character. And then currently it's Real Friends by Kanye West.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That is one of the most heartbreaking songs that I have on this playlist. Like I have a lot of there's like a couple of sad songs on Bastian's playlist, but that's the song that I'm like, fucking hurts.
Yeah. Yeah. Sad Bastion is a thing that makes me feel very sad to think about.
It's the fact that like this is a very sad song, but this is a song for now because this is probably the healthiest that he has been in a while.
Yeah.
Because he's out of his usual environment, and he's taking care of other people's problems, which is always easier than taking care of your own.
Oh,
Way
sure.
easier. So much better. Oh, that's so good.
For the start of the campaign... The start of the campaign or like just in the past? Because...
Start of the campaign.
I'm about to Google these.
Okay.
I'm gonna Google.
I think for the...
Wait, what was the question? It's like the song describing
what's the song that represents their current state?
Oh, right now? Okay.
Right now, and also because Andre was like, you bitch, and I was like, okay, so you gotta add at the start of the campaign.
You bitch.
What's the song?
The current song for Kazimir is from I think it's a TV show soundtrack for Spartacus, and it's called No More Mr. Nice Guy.
Ooh.
And for the start of the campaign, I have 16 Tons by Tennessee Ernie Ford.
Hold on. 16 Tons, Tennessee Ernie Ford. Oh,
Yes.
Interesting.
It's like a mining sort of song,
Oh.
and he's like, I was born on a day when the sun didn't shine, like I was raised by mountain lions, don't fuck with me. And like the story changes every time, so it's like
tight as
it
hell.
reflects like how Kazimir has like a bunch of rumors about like who he actually is.
God, I'm gonna cry. That's so good.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. What about you? What about you, Depth?
For the start of the campaign, would probably be The Mask by Matt Mason. It's essentially it's basically about a song being the lyrics just really resonate with Melaena at the beginning,
Sure.
especially the chorus. It's like, were you ever here or just lost on the surface of the first touch? I settled my grievance by crafting a mask and I never looked back. I think currently at the moment, it's a toss-up between another Matt Mason song called Me and My Friends Are Lonely, which is like, me and my friends are lonely, I don't know what to do, I always figured I'd be the one to die alone.
Oh no.
Or an anime opening song called In My World, which is basically talking about destiny. And I really like the last line of the song, which is, with you by my side, I don't have any fears. Which is kind of like how Melaena feels about the party, so...
Fucking Blue Exorcist?
Yeah. I fucking love Blue Exorcist, don't come for me.
Of course.
Fucking nerds.
Ragna?
Yeah, excuse me.
Actually, speaking of being a nerd and otaku bitch, the first song, the song at the start of the campaign for Ragna is also from an anime. It's from Ruby. It's
I also have this song in...
Time to Say Goodbye by Jeff Williams and Casey Lee. And it's always talking about like having to grow up immediately and having to leave behind childish ideals, leave behind blissful ignorance on purpose, and realize that the world is much darker than you previously thought, and putting away childish things and no longer leaving a carefree life and stuff like that. And the current song of Ragna's life right now, it's actually 2 songs. It was Intro 3 by NF, when I didn't know when I didn't know about Echo's deal. And I didn't know what who Echo was. I put that on there immediately because it's a song of artist talking to his fear, and fear living in his mind and taunting him about it's because of me that we've gotten this far. It's because of me that we're here. So appreciate me or else. And the artist coming to grip at that and being like, no, in fact, fuck you. I'm gonna live my life how I see fit, and you're gonna sit in the back like a good little boy. There's that song, and then there's Stronger Than Ever by Riley Ritchie, which it's talking about anxiety, about like just the world coming in, caving in around you.
Holy shit, this guy?
Are you listening to it right now?
No, I reckon Game of Thrones.
Yes, Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
She does. And it's I'm gonna come back, like I'm not gonna let the world's adversities and my own adversities come and cave down on me. I'm gonna surpass them and become even better for it. So it's gonna take a long time, but I'm gonna be successful. I'm gonna make it.
Adi.
Fuck yeah.
So it's all about hope.
He has so much hope.
So much.
So one is about losing the innocence and realizing the world is dark, and then the other one is hope still exists and I can still reach for it.
We all make characters so differently, and I love it.
Oh, it's so good. You make characters so differently, but you all make characters so deeply, which is why I'm so fervently here right now. There's just so much to all of your characters that I can just continue to absorb and nosh, and it's so good for me.
Nosh.
Yeah,
Gosh.
there's just so much there. Did everybody answer the music question? I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
You got any songs, Dylan?
Do I have any songs?
You have any
Yeah.
songs?
I do. So I have that I am singularly obsessed. I have like 3 or 4 things that I like, and then I don't think about anything else for the rest of forever. Anyway, the only music I listen to is Coheed and Cambria. I listen, it's like, so I have a Coheed song for all of you.
You
yes.
do?
I have a Coheed song for each of your characters.
Oh my God. What?
That Ragna's is 10 speed. It's called 10 speed. It is about a man who is writing a comic book, and one of the characters from his comic book, which is a sentient 10-speed bicycle possessed by the devil, is talking to him and trying to get him to do stuff. Yeah, so that's what that's about.
Amazing.
It's great. It's great. Melena's is Wake Up, which is a sad story, but it is about leaving someone behind that you have to let go of.
Stop it.
It's very sweet and sad. Bastian's is the Liars Club.
A Liars Club.
Yeah. Which is about a group of people choosing to keep their deep, dark secrets from each other so that they can avoid the hard reality of trying to get better. And Shoulders is for Kazimir, which is about somebody who feels the crushing responsibility of having the weight of everything on their shoulders.
Oh.
Ragna's is, hold on. Ragna's was 10
speed, right?
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
10 speed.
Yep. Good. That was everybody's. Yep.
Love that.
Yeah. So that's my songs for all of you.
Dylan!
Yeah.
That's so much.
Yeah.
This song is so good. I'm listening to it right now.
Same.
I'm losing my mind.
Good. I had more questions if we have a little time. Because
whenever you're tired, we're tired.
Swell. Because what I want to do is I want to do like a little Tragedy of Theolosian yearbook.
Oh my god!
Like who we would vote most likely to.
Oh my god!
Yes, absolutely.
Fantastic. So, all right. My first one is person in the party most likely to start a war on accident.
Ragna.
Right.
I feel two different.
Right.
Ragna is very, very well spoken. Love him to death. However, sometimes he puts his foot in his mouth, not because of who he is and his own like speaking prowess, but because of the context that the other person is coming from.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And Ragna is so. You know how some people are just kind of like are born / develop some inherently pretty like coherent and cogent like emotional understandings and like concepts of the world. I feel like Ragna is kind of one of those people, but that is an anomaly statistically. And so I feel like Ragna would come at it from like we gotta understand each other, and like maybe we just take a second and we just listen to what everybody has to say.
We're gonna say we close our eyes and we reach deep into our
hearts and Not like that, not exactly. But then someone would be like, fuck you, and just like shoot someone with a crossbow from across the room.
Sure.
That is my explanation.
Yeah.
Got it. Could see that. Okay, so we have 2 votes. We have a vote for Ragna and a vote for Bastion.
I
On that.
thought that would be on purpose, not by accident.
Yeah,
Yeah,
is that
that's a
Bastion
thing.
sort of war would
Brings
be on
me to my
purpose.
next question. Most likely to start a war on purpose.
Bastion.
Bastion.
Either Bastion or Kazimir. I feel
True.
like.
Yeah, Kazimir is very like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kazimir's got lots of he's got a lot of
strong
strong
opinions.
Yeah, he's got a lot of strong opinions, and
Yeah.
he's got a lot of like tactical knowledge and
Mhm.
wisdom. So
And rage.
I feel like that is
It's very
they
important.
could potentially be tied.
I want to say
Yeah.
that the accidental war one. I want to say Melaena specifically because their mom, because of their mom
Fair enough.
and their
Yeah.
Oh.
start shit on their behalf.
Why'd you gotta make
Yeah.
it sad?
Bad things.
And then Melaena would come in and not know anything about what's going on, and someone would be like, blah 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 blah, all this context, and Melaena would be like, well, it's my mom, she's right. And then like a fucking world war would just rip its way across.
Across the land.
Okay, fair. All right, most likely to break up a political alliance due to a romantic intrigue.
Kazimir, I think.
Aye.
For sure.
Aye.
Either Kazimir or Melaena, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
If there was anything with Irene again,
Oh.
yeah.
I think that both of them are. I would say Kazimir and Ragna, except that we haven't necessarily seen Melena's like devotion in romantic settings in the actual timeline yet, and I feel like maybe there's a little bit more recklessness there. Like Ragna's pretty careful. I don't know. Is that correct, Christian? What do you think?
I'd say Ragna's pretty, because again, Kaj has asked him a bunch of questions about like, would you kill for her? Would you do this for her?
Right.
Would you, and he's like, I need to know the information first. I gotta. You set no precedent. I need more
I
context.
gotta know everything.
I gotta know everything.
And Kaj is like, that's all you need to know is like that you would.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ragna's like,
Yeah.
fuck that, that's stupid. Information is golden.
Very good. Okay, all right. Most likely to become the leader of a nation, king, queen, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
That's
it?
Pretty
Oh.
good.
I
I
think
think that Ragna's a pretty good.
I think-
Ragna. I mean, Bastion potentially, but
Yeah, I reckon Bastian because he's
I
all
feel like Bastion
smart,
accidentally fall into it.
charismatic.
Like he'd wake
Yeah.
up. and be in
I
shit.
feel like
very charismatic. But okay, here's my thing:
well,
is that Bastion would probably be intelligent enough to see that the figurehead is not the figurehead.
sure.
The person who's like actually pulling the strings
Is behind the
somewhere
scenes.
below.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Ragna could be the like Ragna for sure gives me like folktale hero vibes.
Yeah.
Because what's Ragna's charisma score?
His charisma's 12.
Yeah, so he's like more charismatic than the average person. He's also very wise, and like well balanced, and just like has some really, really nice values. So I feel like he would be I feel like he could look into being a really, really, really
Yeah.
good leader. You know?
Ragna
You are.
would be a good leader. That I definitely agree with.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very much.
No. Ragnar would be like, fuck that.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
That's what makes you a good leader, is that you don't want to be a leader. It's like always
Yeah.
the people who don't want the
Yeah.
power or the
Having
the final
flashbacks.
decision.
After you mentioned Game of Thrones, I'm having flashbacks.
Yeah.
It's like Ragnar's the kind of guy that's like, I want to help people lead. I don't want to be the leader.
right.
And like, I've already got an agita about myself. I don't want an extra stress about helping everybody else. Like, I'll help everybody else.
But it's because he has that perspective, and that's what
Yeah.
makes him. That's what makes
Yeah.
him
Oh yeah.
a good role for it.
Because people, you guys even like not joked, like half joked. You were like, Ragnar's the leader of this party. I was like, What?
Who?
Who? Me?
Who?
What?
On God?
What? Okay.
Okay.
I'll try.
My last yearbook question is most likely to have their story rewritten as a fairy tale.
Oh, Melaena.
Melaena.
Melaena, yeah. I feel like that's an easy. I mean, it's so like, oh come on, it's so
Demi-God with stars.
dramatic.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the child of darkness traveled to the material plane and met like the embodiment of light and kindness and fell in love and then killed her in her sleep.
And the lesson is don't fall in love.
Don't fall in love, kid.
Don't fall in love. And
Wow,
don't-
you would be like a fae, like a scary story that parents would tell their children.
Yeah, yeah, It's like, listen to your mother, or you'll find your one true love and kill them into their sleep.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh my god.
Listen to your parents, or you'll damage everybody you come in contact with.
yeah.
Listen to your
Wow.
parents, or you'll stab them in their sleep. What?
Mhm.
No.
Do we
I think this would be my
anybody
legacy, but
Yeah. Do we think anybody would have a like a more fanciful fairy tale
The grim one.
Oh, I mean,
Tail version.
I think
Ragna could have a really good.
Ragna is a very good
Ragna's got
fairy
a really
tale.
good setup to be like a very
Yeah.
popular folk.
I mean, Bastian's is kind of like a reverse Cinderella.
Bastion's got like a little hero's journey. Bastion is
It's very hero's journey.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Bastion is the prince and the pauper without the pauper.
You're not wrong.
Potentially, Bastian could have a good one of like a shitty person turning good. I think that he definitely like that trope for sure. I just
Yeah.
feel like either Kazimir or Ragna could also have a very good like fanciful one, because Kazimir for one is like seems to be motivated in a good portion by like love, and
Yes.
not that Bastian is not motivated by that, but Bastian grew up very privileged, and so isn't necessarily like he's not relatable in that way. Whereas Kazimir had an upbringing that I feel like a lot of people can, even at a distance, relate to, even if it's not like literally, if it's not one-to-one, they can still relate to like
Oh yeah.
being a person who stands out, and because they stand out is like ostracized and somehow at the same time like used purely for the reason that they stand out,
Yes.
and is
Yeah.
motivated purely by love, and like through love finds a happy ending. And then for Ragna is like, he like, as I said, just happened across the very specific combination of genes and upbringing that made him kind of like a wise kid. And so as a result of that, he's very likable and very relatable, because he's shy, but he wants to make the world a better place. And like, bitches love that. I'm bitches. Like,
Yeah.
I'm bitches, yeah.
Yes, very
like,
much so.
We are all
love to
bitches.
see somebody who
Correct.
loves the world and wants to help the world and is going to go out and help the world. Like, that could be I feel like either of those two could be very fanciful. Not that Melaena and Bastian couldn't also be fanciful, but it's not at the same level as like fucking
Yeah.
true love and a pure heart.
Oh yeah,
Like,
true love is like the thing in fairy
Yeah.
tales. Yeah.
Love. Yeah.
especially
Love.
with
Woo, love.
Ragna's arc with Vontis was like, and
Oh, it was
also-
tasty.
Would also correct.
So yummy.
Very good.
That is my humble onion.
I love romance in TTRPGs. It's just, it fills the void in my heart.
So good.
I confess to Serenity, I was like, I've never had like an arc of love in a TTRPG before. So the Vontis thing was a completely like new experience for me. So that's
I
so you-
love
She's sexy though.
So yeah, she's sexy. But you see, me tackling that in those scenes is the first time I've ever flirted or like.
It's so
confessed.
good.
Very good.
I really want to watch those episodes again, actually, because I loved those scenes so
like,
much. Where Ragna was just like,
Ragnavantis.
Because Ragna's so like not innocent, but Ragna's so honest.
Yeah.
he's like no secrets. I don't want to have a single like.
Oh my
No
god, he's so
lies.
no secrets. Sometimes it's like, we gotta have some secrets. Sometimes.
yeah, sometimes secrets are healthy.
How often do you wash your butt? Tell me.
Better be every day.
Better be
For
every day.
health reasons.
Yeah.
But like Ragna's so honest with Vantis, especially. Where
Yeah.
He's just like,
Yeah.
I don't care about. It's not that I don't care about your backstory, but it's not you. It's not who I know.
Yeah.
It's not who I've met and grew with.
Oh,
I love that. That's so good.
that's been so much of his relationship with Kaj too. Of like, I don't care what people said about you or like what your reputation is. You are Kazimir. Fuck.
You now is the
Yes,
one I'm
that's
trying to-
yep. Mhm.
And it's like to the point where he's like, I have imposter syndrome and I hate admitting things. I will 100% admit to you that you mean so much to me as a person.
But then there's the little drama question of how much are you willing to forgive a person for who they were before you met them? If y'all found out about potentially some of the stuff that like Kazimir did, or Melaena, or Ragna, or Bastian.
I mean, it was what he admitted. It's what they were yelling about. What he was yelling about him at the bathhouse.
Yeah.
I don't care. You now is more important than the you before.
Sure.
Yes, you before is important to why you're you now, but the you now is moving forward.
Yeah.
The old one's not. And I'm like, that's it. Friend, please.
Get a grip.
Get a grip.
Is Ragna motivated by friend please most of the time?
Ragna is motivated by friend please. Ragna is motivated by how the world views you shouldn't matter, despite the fact that that's his whole identity. Because, as I've admitted before, Ragna is the only Blackford Leonin, to his knowledge. And Leonin have beautiful, bright, blonde, and luscious, like, amazing fur. And so, like, he feels so alone in that aspect.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he never wants anybody else to feel that loneliness of what makes them different that they hate. Because it's like he's like, not only does that make you unique, it should like expand what you're capable of, because that adversity is that self adversity is like testing you constantly, and seeing you pass that test, becoming a better person for it is so good. And then meanwhile, Ragna's internal struggle is, God, the wrong choices will make me worse. And that comes so into focus when Echo comes into the picture of those are the bad choices.
Yeah.
The bad choices. Echo is the constant reminder that bad choices exist.
Mhm.
Ragna. And it's like,
God.
God,
No.
Fix him.
having your mistakes be constantly in front of you and being able to now talk to you, being like, be me? Fuck.
Yep.
No.
Wow. Ragna is so good. What a good Ragna is a very important like glue for this party.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
sure.
god.
Ragna is
He's a linchpin.
yeah.
I feel like
Someone
that's how
has to
we
be.
went with all of our characters. Like, I feel like if Christian had went with someone like equally as tragic as everyone, it would be a mess.
It would be
Like,
too heavy. It would like there wouldn't be any like balance, like counterweight to all of like our other characters, like like more like cruel or like
Not
selfish.
necessarily as tragic, because I personally connect very much to Ragna's backstory of being like alone, doing this thing, learning about the world through secondhand sources, which is in itself very tragic.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
the like the wisdom that he brings is very, very necessary, because the rest of us
It
are like,
is.
wisdom.
We have one brain cell. I mean, Melaena has a fair bit of wisdom.
Yeah.
She just doesn't
Mechanically.
have the charisma to.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Let me fucking finish my sentence before you fucking go off. I was going to say, Melaena has the wisdom. She just doesn't have the charisma to communicate it well.
You
Hmm.
turn into a barrel.
That fucking worked, bitch.
Until it didn't.
We all had to rush to the fight. But
It was good.
fun fact about like why Ragna used to speak the way he did was because all he spoke to were adults.
Yeah.
For-
Oh my god, he's the high achieving gifted kid.
Absolutely, he's the high achieving gifted kid.
Rage.
all he did was talk to adults who like customers getting their shit.
Who were like, you're
Yeah.
so mature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're so
because
mature
he
for your
didn't,
age.
He didn't relate to any of the kids in his town because the kids in Feltios are all refugees of some kind. And so he's got
Bruh.
nothing in common with them. They're all running away from the dangers of life, and he's comfy in his home, with his job, with
Oh,
his family.
Oh my
And
god.
all he's ever done is see people much older than him and getting their stories and listening to their stories. And that's why he also loves romance novels and cheesy books.
I love that he loves romance novels so
Oh my
much.
God,
Like, that is
Ragna.
so cute.
That is so cute. Fully.
Because he just absorbs, because that's all he did as he worked for hours on end on people's like broken swords and armors and
What
requests.
What a character. What a
So-
character concept.
What a lad.
Yeah.
So when Bastian first like spat back at him about Ragna Ragna talking to him, and he cut him off. Ragna was like, okay, all right.
Yeah, I don't think that you would have seen that yet, Dylan. That's in the desert. That's
Mhm.
he still needs to that's a line that has yet to be tied off.
Yeah.
like once he did that, that's when I think Ragna was like, okay, maybe I need to change my speech because it's not making people comfortable.
Oh, I got in trouble.
And I don't like seeing my people. I don't like seeing new friends angry at me because it feels like I made steps backwards.
I want to perish. And look at Kazimir's neck, everyone. Isn't it so thick?
Oh, it's so
What?
thickalicious.
Yeah,
So
anytime
Yeah, what
I
a
say that we're not gonna get away from this. Anytime Ragna makes a mistake in conversation, he feels that shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is it? He internalizes
Bastian
it.
is such a bitch. I hate him.
Well, no, because that was necessary. We even talked about it. We even talked about that after the
After the
scene was done.
session.
After the session, you were like, "Is it okay?" I was like, "Yeah." He needs to be told to shut up.
I know, but
At
it's so
points.
sad.
And
It is
and
sad.
having a kid be told to shut up when all he
God.
did was listen to people for a living as he worked.
Mm-hmm.
Shit stings, and he's like, "Okay."
For context, I think Ragna was providing Bastian with some insight, and Bastian was like, I don't need your advice. Like, fully. That was his response.
Yeah.
It was real. It was real.
was very
bad.
curt.
Bastian was dealing with his own pride.
Yeah, and Ragna's response to that was, "Okay," and he left. He just
Bye!
he just left. Like no. He's like, "Okay, bye."
Well, I'll just go fuck right off.
In the most like
I'll just go
touching
fuck
fingertips-
myself.
in the most touching fingertips, kind of like, "Oh, I fucked up." Like shit. Oh no, I made the mistake.
Yeah, the shitty thing is that Ragna's like, it's my fault.
It's me.
When it's fully just Bastian being, it's not like it's a combination of character traits.
Yeah.
It's not one
Yeah.
person's fault.
Mm-hmm.
It just.
But Ragna takes that takes not just rejection, but failure,
Internalizes.
and internalize it so harshly on his own sense of self.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck that.
We have the most characters ever.
We have the
much
most characters.
I don't know why, but I just vividly remembered fucking Melaena talking to Ragna about death, and it just came across as being like, "You're scared of death? It's fine, my brother. I can help you."
Andre
Brothers is in charge of death.
Andre has phased out.
Oh,
Sorry.
no.
Hold on. I don't know.
you-
It's a very funny little flash. Hold on. Let me fuck around. Give me
We're
one
still on
second.
stream, it looks like.
Yeah, we're still live. It's just my camera fucked up.
yeah.
But,
Everybody, be brave.
because it's
We're all
funny
so
'cause
brave. There you go.
with that scene with Melaena being like, it's okay. My family is my brother's the god of death. He didn't take it off as it becoming awkward. He understands like, I fully know. And
Well,
the fact that-
negative
the fact that
to
you-
charisma,
the fact that-
bitch.
yeah, it's not the words that you said, it's that you said them that made Ragna feel better. Right.
Mm.
It's because you came up and said those words and even tried that it's like that's all I needed. That's all it is.
The intention is what matters.
Yes, the intention is what
Hell yeah.
matters. So.
All right. I have 2 more questions for you.
Okay.
Yes.
The first one is fully because I think all the time, constantly, forever,
Mhm.
about
There's more.
About Kazimir specifically.
I think constantly. It's terrible. It's hell. Get me out. I think a lot about. I have lots of thoughts about a mashup between the Atomless characters and the Theolosian characters. I think about it a lot. I think about it so often. It kind of inspired by how often I think about that. If you could take your character from tragedy and port them into a different genre, what genre would you port them into?
Oh, fuck.
I think it's like obvious.
Sloan is
for
frozen.
Melaena.
by the
Sloan
way.
is frozen. I was
So
like,
it is frozen, and I thought that they were just
I
absolutely
just thought they
entranced
were
by my question.
really
they were like that for too long. I was like, they
thinking.
gotta move. They got ADHD. They gotta move somehow. I'm like,
There we go.
there we go.
Okay, good,
You
good.
got it.
Oh,
I
welcome
should
back.
have looked up. You mash up between Atomless.
And
Oh, that's a lot. Yeah. So I do. I think a lot about the mashup between the Atomless and tragedy. But inspired by that, my question is, if you could port your character from tragedy into a different genre, what genre would you port them into?
Oh my god.
I feel like a very obvious answer for Melaena would be sci-fi, considering like
Space.
the space themes that she just inherently has.
Yeah. Born of the Night Sky.
Like a sci-fi horror would be very,
Ooh.
very spicy.
Where she is the horror.
Mm.
Mm.
Because that one scene that was real early when you got knocked out.
Yeah, and there was a hand reaching out.
for you.
Jesus.
I haven't
I forgot
about that.
I forgot about
yeah,
that.
I haven't. I'm.
That shit was scary.
That shit was scary.
What happened?
You remember
In the
when?
tavern, when people got knocked out, and Melaena got knocked out, and then Serenity was like, you see a hand coming towards you, and it reaches out for you, and it grabs you, because they kept failing their saves.
Mm-hmm.
This is
What?
this terrifying shit.
Yeah.
They just never come back up. It's never come back up. And I'm like, what the fuck, dog?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so spice horrors.
That hasn't been touched. That's why I have always been so
Serenity.
scared of falling asleep near the party members because of that inherent moment.
They just put shit in there and then just let it sit forever.
They really do.
I feel like Bastian could also do well in a sci-fi genre because he's got the Marines, but also any sort of like murder mystery kind of situation. I'm feeling like a Sherlock Holmes kind of sitch. I feel like he would do
Oh,
very
yeah.
well in
Yeah.
that. Like he would definitely be down any I mean, especially in like a Sherlock Holmes kind of situation, because that's kind of placed around the time when like spiritualism is getting real hyped up. And so as somebody who like began as a con man and like progressed into learning about things that are kind of more occult adjacent within this world, he would definitely be like feet first into like occult shit and like learning about all the things that you are not supposed to know about. So I feel like, especially if it's a world where like the occult shit is kind of real, like not necessarily the way that the public thinks about it, but in a parallel way is realistic. Very cool. So
very good.
That's what I think.
I love that answer.
I think Ragna works best in a steampunk, Arcana punk kind of situation.
That's hot.
That's hot shit.
With his love of making new kinds of weapons and armor.
Kind of like arcane setting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Making those kinds of weapons that like have both functions as a working tool and as a weapon. I think that angle is really, really interesting. I also feel like future, of course, anything with technology brings up the occupation of blacksmithing. I feel like
right. Any sort of manufacturing is that's just part of human society, is that we make shit.
Yeah.
Ooh, a little turn of the century, maybe a little bit of industrialization kind of.
Because as soon as
I own a metallurgy
Oh,
shop.
I forgot. I don't know if I showed you this. I wanted to.
All right.
Metallurgy shop up there, you know.
Hold on.
I don't remember if I showed you this yet or not, Christian, but when I went to the Ren Fair, I saw an actual blacksmith.
Ooh.
And I just want to draw a little lion that looks like this old man.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
Yes.
But like,
Fucking old Ragna with glasses.
Shut the fuck up!
tired old Ragna.
I think this is unfair because any image of any of us reaching any kind of old age makes us all emotional. No. Yeah. It's kind of like we did it.
Got here.
I did it.
I did it.
I have so much faith.
Okay, so for Kazimir,
Yeah.
I would love if Kazimir was like in a musical.
Ratatouille verse.
Fully like, well, also like, I think I've talked about you guys about this a little bit, but a big influence for like Kazimir and like his like hometown was Fiddler on the Roof. So I just want to see like a Kazimir musical, which isn't necessarily like a different genre, but did like a very different form of storytelling to like tell the story.
I was a rich man.
Yeah.
What a musical episode of Tragedy is so fucking bad.
Money in
Oh my god, how would that even happen?
Man.
A Melty man?
A milky man.
A milk. I didn't mean to say that.
That's immortalized on the internet, though.
No.
And also just to get like
Andre.
also just to get to like a contrabass to sing Kaj songs.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
A little bit of a fucking, what is it? Is it Lady Butterfly or Empress Butterfly? Nessun Dorma is what I'm getting at.
Yes. Madame Butterfly? Is that it?
That one.
Yeah. I was trying to think of it because I was like, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I can also see though Kazimir's story told as an opera rather than necessarily
Maybe
like
that's more
musical.
appropriate because it's so high drama.
Yeah, it's so high drama, and also just Kazimir is so bassy.
Yeah.
You know,
On the other hand, Kazimir saying Edelweiss, Edelweiss. Every morning you greet me. That could be sweet. With Janelle singing the harmony bits.
The alto,
That'd be nice.
yeah. Or soprano.
Can she sing?
Can
Janelle?
Janelle sing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They've sung
Of
together.
course she does. Christian, she's
Sung
hot.
together? Yes.
Do you need a reminder?
Every hot person.
One moment. Everybody shut up.
She fucks.
It's time to show you my girlfriend.
Everybody shut up. I want to show you my fantasy
I'm
girlfriend.
gonna show you my fantasy girlfriend.
Shut up.
Shut the fuck up, it's time for fantasy girl.
I don't even know where to find.
Don't talk to me and my 3 girlfriends that smoke weed ever again.
My Canadian girlfriends who smoke weed.
My Canadian girlfriend, who's definitely real.
I'm literally like desperately flipping through my knowledge of musicals, which is super slim, trying to find any sort of reference that I can make in this moment that would be funny, but coming up totally dry. I
I gotta be funny, I gotta be funny, I gotta be funny.
have to be funny.
That's the curse of
Well-
the comedian, ain't it?
While Andre searches for a picture of Janelle, I will cast the Tragedy of Theolosian cast members as people in Rent.
The second
Oh
character that you
my
have is what character we would play in Rent?
No, starting with Bastian. Bastian would be Benny. The
Benny? Hold on, I have to fucking look up Benny Rent real quick.
the landlord.
The landlord.
The landlord kid. That's a character.
Fuck. His name is Benny Coffin.
Yeah, Benjamin Coffin the third.
You're right, but fuck you.
Look at this man's style. Yep, he's definitely Bastian.
It
I
literally says, fucking residence, Allison Gray's house, a kept man after my own heart.
He married. Yeah. Oh, we found Janelle.
It's
There
Janelle.
she is, the lady.
God.
Yeah, she's hot.
Who
Of
is
course she
everyone
fucking
else?
sings. Christian.
Hey.
With tits like that? Are you kidding?
Everyone knows you sing from the tits.
That's
actually-
on your body and not be super good at singing.
And I have
Yeah.
great lungs.
That's true.
Well protected
That's a
lungs.
fact.
What the
Mhm.
Jack?
So no, that was not my actual last question. My last question is if
I should have named my peacock Evita.
you
Oh, God.
That's fucking hilarious.
Don't cry for me, Marinade.
Oh my god. Good lord. Okay, so imagine tragedy endgame is that you are all like offered a seat with the gods. You are all offered godhood.
We've talked about this.
Do you take it? And if you do, what do you become the god of?
Oh my
It can be
God.
anything. It could be
We have
small.
talked about this. Let me actually bring up the conversation.
Have we
Oh,
talked about
yeah.
this?
Have we fully talked about this?
Me,
Yeah.
you, and Andre talked about this, I believe.
Oh my God.
I
I don't even remember
don't think that
this.
Bastian would turn down the opportunity to be a god. First off, just flat out.
I mean, why would you?
Right.
Ragna would turn it down.
Ragna would turn it down. Okay. Yeah.
I feel like Bastian would love the opportunity to be the god of knowledge, because I know that there are gods of, like, Athena is kind of like a knowledge-ish, but it's like combat knowledge and sort of wisdom seems to be kind of more her domain. And, you know, obviously Hecate is like magic, but to sort of bridge the gap between those and cover the wizardly parts.
had also a while ago. So we talked about this in February.
Knowledge.
You had said at the time the god of making amends.
Also that. I was gonna do a two-parter where
Sorry.
Just had to show them up, didn't you? Steal their thunder.
I like that.
What are you, Zeus?
Bastian would be like, God of knowledge, fucking. But realistically, he'd probably be like a less big god. Do you know what I mean? Like a
Like a god of wits, as opposed to a god of like.
Right, and like if he was like a lesser god or like some kind of like a nymph-esque kind of situation.
Like a personification?
Yes, it would probably be something like making amends or I guess like humility kind of because those things kind of like intersect where like the most important thing to Bastian is knowledge and like that's one of the most important things in his life is knowledge. He also very much values connection, but like I would say the most important thing is knowledge to him. But the most important thing to have happened in the story of his life is making amends and like accepting humility and understanding. So depending on which you choose between those, like whether it's like his ideals versus like the ideals personified by the story of his existence, like the story of his existence I think very much uplifts this idea of like when someone tells you that you hurt their feelings, you listen and you learn how to kind of let go of the fact that you feel bad about doing something that's hurt somebody and simply accept the fact that that has happened and then ask like what you can do to make amends. So two different potentialities, but I feel like the kind of like the story of it supports the like humility, making amends, that kind of thing. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I love that.
Hey.
That is character growth is what it is. It's beautiful. All right, Melaena, what was yours?
I never said in this conversation what I would be. I don't think. Yeah, no, I didn't really think about mine. I did mention that if Ragna would be like the god of choices or coins.
Oh.
God of coin.
I love that. I love the two of those together.
Of like chance and choice and
Yeah.
With like there's two sides to every coin because of Ragna and
kind
Echo.
of like the logical side of fortune.
right.
Like the randomness of fortune versus the like the will of like choice making. Same symbology of like a splitting path, but two very different ways of approaching it.
The way I see it for Ragna, the way I see it for Ragna is he'd feel weird being asked because Leonin gave up on the gods so long ago, right, millennia ago, because of their choices that almost destroyed them. And so being given that chance to be a god for the Leonin is an honor, but at the same time, it's a choice that feels too high for him to make, and it feels like it almost feels like you're taking the responsibility of helping people off his shoulders. And he's like, again, if I can help people, why wouldn't I? Right? If I can be there for the people, why wouldn't I? Why would I need to be a god to do that? And like, I don't think I could do that if I was a god, so I wouldn't choose that path. And he definitely struggled with it. I don't think he'd take it. He'd be honored by the thing that would be different is he would be honored and not confused by it. I think once he's like, oh, my accolades are recognized and I recognize my own accolades, that's my growth.
Right.
And, but going so far as to
Wow.
be God is so, I'm gonna say outrageous, because
Yeah.
Leonin haven't needed a god in millennia. So why start
He's a
now?
very good hero story, though.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's a very good figure of legend.
Yeah.
My prediction was that Ragna and Melaena would turn it down.
Here's the thing.
The whole between the character of Melaena versus the player of Death.
The biggest Greek mythology nerd I've ever met, being like, no, I don't think I will be an Olympian. I know, that's just...
Okay,
don't think
so
I can.
here's the thing. It would very funnily enough be very similar to like the Disney. It would depend on circumstance, because if Melaena was in a spot where she was around people that she cared about and like she could live out the rest of her life with very happily, she would turn it down. But if she was in a place where she was lonely and none of her party members were around anymore and she didn't have anyone to spend the rest of her life with, she would probably take it and would probably take up the domain of like companionship or like absence of loneliness or some corny shit like that.
Sure.
So yeah, that's my answer.
Immunity. Probably be with what's her face? Hestia. You know, like an extension of Hestia, something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Well.
Yeah.
What about Kazimir?
Okay, here's the thing.
Raw, brute, sexual attraction. That's me.
Just
Fucking sex
god of
appeal,
libido.
Beats Eris out of the sky and takes his place.
God of
I
smashing.
am the god of
The god of arias.
the god of Arias,
The god of mezzo.
the god of pussy.
Stop upstaging me, Apollo. Get out of the way, muses.
My time to shine.
So I think part of it is that Kazimir very much like the thing that he wants most in this world after like completing all of his like his duties is to rest, because he's never actually known rest.
Yeah.
Like he's worked every day of his life. So like part of him is like, sure, I could be a god and just like not do anything forever. But also part of him is like, that would be such an abuse of power. That I would become the thing that like I spurned about the gods in the first place, sort of thing. So I think he would turn it down, knowing that like he could like have a full life and be okay with that and not want immortality just to say he has it. I think for Kaj, he could very much be like a god of like devotion or passion,
Passion.
and also I said the word earlier, but like of duty, of like doing what you should do for other people, even if like obviously like Kaj has done things like morally very dubiously, but it's for the purpose of like doing or getting this thing done for his family and like for Janelle and for the party and for Apollo. So I think I think passion or duty would be good.
I am thinking so hard about Bastian being like into the like kind of like figurehead of like humility / like what's it called? Amends making, and how that, like, his eternity would very much be like little works every day, little works or big works every single day, like doing things all the time to like build this new existence, and new existences and new relationships across like time and mortality, and how that like contrasts with Kazimir's, like, he has been working every single day of his life and being like, I just want to rest, like I want to chill, as opposed to like Bastian's kind of upbringing of like luxury, and then for him having the eternity of like doing little, medium, big things to make differences, to make amends. I just love that.
It's very good.
Cute.
I do think maybe that's why Kaj is like unafraid to die, is because like if he dies he just rests forever. Like there's no more work to do when you're dead, you know? So unless you get thrown into Tartarus, which is very possible for Kazimir.
No.
He murdered a lot of people.
Everyone is so sad. Everyone's face went.
No.
Well, no.
Probably the Fields of Punishment, but...
Oh.
Or Asphodel.
Me might be taking that.
Yeah.
Transform.
God, one of the scenes I was so sad I lost was like seeing his like sponsor in where did we go to Asphodel? Yeah, we went to Asphodel, and just being like, oh my god, he's like dead, and like obviously he knew he was dead like when his charred body was right next to him, but like of like, oh, that's his soul.
That's his soul.
Yeah.
He's living a life. He's living a life.
And he doesn't remember me?
He doesn't remember anything from it.
Yeah.
Right. Oh God, yeah.
That was rough.
Anything from it. He's like, I hope I was nice.
Yeah, he was like, if I did anything, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's not me anymore. I think, oh, fuck.
Wow. Oh gosh, what a fucking lovely little show you all have.
I love our show.
It's such a good show.
love Asher.
It's really good. It's coming back next week, right? Next Sunday?
Yes.
Finally.
New episodes resume next week. And does anybody have any like, I don't know, I've asked a ton of questions. Do you have any like songs in your heart? You gotta anything you gotta
I feel like I have a question for the group of like, do you like, we planned our characters like 6 months before they even hit the air.
That's true.
Yes.
So like our characters have seen so much development since they were even like conceptualized. Like they've existed for like a year and a half after like we just celebrated Tragedy's like streaming birthday at the beginning of the month.
God.
Did you imagine your character would be where they are now, and like what has been like the best surprise of like discovering your character?
I'll go first. Because Ragna's story is the campaign, I feel like I'm very happy with what's happened with him. I'm very like, because all my actions and all my story beats have been spur of the moment. Say this now, do this now, like motivated by either ignorance or just stubbornness, or just naivete, and just not having anything to fall back on memory-wise or experience-wise, has led me to having some of the most fun I've had role-playing in my entire life, playing any TTRPG ever. So I'm excited that I was able to experience love for the first time. I'm excited I was able to feel anguish and fear to such an extent for a character and characters with everybody in the party. Anger at other people's actions and his own, at being afraid of my subclass was something
What
I
a
would never.
what a fucking wild thing to happen to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I said it before and I'll say it again. I'm playing a fighter who's basically playing a warlock and the patron is me.
Yeah.
I'm a fighter. And being so afraid of my subclasses role-playing opportunities, I stopped using it.
Like you were willing to sacrifice that like tactical advantage because it was so terrifying.
Because Ragna was so scared of the potential of what this thing could be, and like being able to experience all that for the first time and never having an experience like it beforehand is so refreshing and amazing. And I will sing the praises of Serenity, and I will sing the praises of this group of people that are with me right now, because never in my life did I think I would be doing this and telling this story until I got invited to meet such wonderful people. So every day I think about it, I'm like, I'm so grateful to everyone here. Thank you for giving me this shot. And thank you for being my friend. That's it for me. That's like that's my experience, my life right now. It's like, thank you so much for creating tragedy with me and being there with Ragna and loving him as much as you do. That's my little thing.
I love Ragna.
I love you so much, pal.
Thank you so much, bud.
This show is so good.
It is.
Next.
Yeah. Does anybody else have an answer to Andre's question? You were coming in. It was. How did you imagine your character being where they are now at the start, the inception of your character a year and a half ago?
Mm-hmm.
Could you have imagined?
And what has been the best surprise of playing in the campaign or discovering your character?
Yeah.
Depth, do you want to go first?
Sure.
I gave y'all enough time.
I have no concept of forward thinking. Anytime I think about anything in the future, it's just a blank space. So I honestly I never expect anything when it comes to making things. I make them and I hope for the best, and I just leave them out into the universe to happen. But so I absolutely did not expect my character to be where she is now, but I love it like that. And I think an oldie but a goodie is something that I learned, is that Melaena watched her dad die. Spoiler alert. And just didn't remember it. And then Sony was like, yeah, here you go. And I was like, wow, amazing. But that has made for some really like great RP moments. So
yeah,
that has like completely changed my character that I did not plan for whatsoever. So
yeah,
it's very good.
So do you want to go or do you want me to go?
Whatever you want.
You go.
Okay. I had an idea of what I wanted Bastian to be, because Bastian was one of those characters that was not an immediate focus, but sort of a focus in the distance, in the future, like an idea of what I wanted him to be, as opposed to his current status. You know, sometimes I have characters where I'm like, I'm bringing them in as this, and we are starting from here. But with Bastian, it was like I'm bringing him in with the hope of him being here in like 15 to 20 episodes. And so I had like a general idea of what I wanted him to be, but of course there's no way to accurately expect or say like what a character is going to be. At least for me, that is my experience. I've never been able to be like, this character is going to be exactly this way. And so sort of a combination of the two questions is like, you know, did you have an idea of what they wanted to be, and like what's the best thing that you've discovered about them? They're kind of the same in that he's not exactly what I expected him to be, because I didn't have sort of a 100% fleshed out idea of who this person who was a totally loveless person at the beginning of the campaign, how they would be later on in the campaign when they were hanging out with folks who did what they could to make sure that he was like safe and comfortable and doing okay. And so I didn't fully expect him to be this way, but at the same time, the nice things that I have discovered about Bastian is that he actually does have a very big heart, and he happened to be born into a situation that didn't really support that big heart, and his journey with the Hands of Glory has been like one of healing and figuring out like, oh, okay, cool. So this like feeling that I have, these feelings that I have, they're not verboten, like they're not terrible. They're like normal even. And acceptable and like cool and good even to have. And that's something that I've been really pleased to sort of find out as because like I send messages to Serenity send messages to Serenity every once in a while, and we'll be like, and of course she'll also always be like, oh, interesting. Like she's always like right there with me as I'm kind of like talking shit out, and I've kind of been able to like experience these very fun, immersive moments of like realizing who Bastian is, and as I come to more of an understanding, kind of firming up his story and his backstory and what I want for him in the future as I go on. So
hell yeah.
So yeah, I definitely didn't know exactly what I wanted at the beginning, but I have experienced and discovered many wonderful things about him as a character as time has gone on. So
Especially being a fucking Nephilim now.
yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck? Are you
that happened.
That's a whole thing.
Tightening your boy.
I want to talk about. I want to talk more about that, but that's for I think another time.
Oh my god,
Andre.
I think when I conceptualized Kazimir, a lot of it was like, Dylan knows this very well, especially after creating like Theoriac, but for Adamless. But when I make a character, I go like deep into like research, and doing like learning about like things about just like any sort of like facts or trivia or knowledge that like can help me develop something about a character. And
yes.
And Kazimir was like one of the first times of like going all in on like a concept of like if I'm playing a Minotaur, I want to do so much research about like what were gladiators like what's bullfighting like, what sort of cattle species exist, what used to exist, what like sort of like cultures can I draw on besides just straight up Greek, and but one of the other great things that process has granted me that I first discovered with Kazimir as this campaign has gone on is that going so much into the research of a character kind of almost blinds me to what lies ahead for them as far as like themes and things, because I'm so caught up in like the concept of them.
Interesting.
And so like for Kazimir, like, you know, I was taking a lot of influence from like, you know, like Gladiator, the Russell Crowe movie was like a big influence on him, obviously.
Right.
And like, you know, in a lot of like these stories like Spartacus, which I mentioned earlier, like a lot of times like they focus on like gladiators as like singular characters, and like that's kind of like the idea behind Cutthroat Kazimir, is that he's like this like legend almost. And so much of Kazimir's story has been about like connecting to others and realizing that like it's not just you, and sort of that aspect of like found family, which is pervasive in almost every TTRPG party, but especially I feel like with this group of like what you said earlier of like everyone's got baggage and everyone kind of feels like this like weight of like who they are. And like in Greek stories, like that's the whole point, is that like you can't escape your fate. But in this game we can, and we can reshape who we are and like what we can be. And that's
Yes.
and that's really wonderful. And I loved, and I still love to discover that with Kazimir and with all of you. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good question, and those were all really great answers. I'm out of my questions, but if anybody else has anything else that they have a burning to ask.
I have a question for you, Dylan.
oh yeah, we gotta ask Dylan questions.
Okay.
What's a theory you have?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me your theories.
Theory.
Do I have a theory?
Yeah. What's one of your biggest theories about what's going on in the story?
Or do you have like any big thoughts or feelings?
I have so many big thoughts or feelings. Yes. That's a lot. I think my theories right now, all have to do with the current like situation going on at the Colosseum. I think
Yeah, come on, still.
Come on.
we're
Where's
trying to
that
find out,
tea?
like we're all wondering where Janelle is, right?
Yes.
She's obviously here somewhere. And I do not think that she's going to show up in the pit. And I think I just think Serenity is so much darker than that.
That's what I was afraid you were gonna say.
Worse than Janelle in the pit.
How could
Yeah.
it be worse?
Can I tell y'all something?
What?
I have told Serenity deep in our chat of like I had like a dream of like Kazimir like fighting Janelle in the pits like last year, and I told Serenity, and I was like, if Kazimir had to die, I would want it to be like that. So I don't know if that's influenced anything, or if that was just like that's a nice dream you had, but like yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that Serenity is going to allow Kazimir to die yet.
He has function still.
As much as Serenity is such like a hard ass, especially in combat and stuff. She doesn't want any of our characters to die.
Oh,
We'll
no.
try so hard for it to not happen, but if it happens, it happens. But like,
I think we're gonna see something where Janelle either appears to be or is like directly involved in Kazimir's current situation.
I have been harboring a terrible theory that I don't want to tell Serenity in fear.
Now's the time to say it.
Now's the time, yeah.
I have a feeling she is heavily, like, we already know she's heavily involved in the Tatanamaki, like the Titan stuff, because of the, like, sending. I don't know how Serenity is doing all the hubbub, but I have a feeling that Janelle might be possessed by one of the Titans.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. I think that's a very.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good theory.
I was thinking that is what it might be, and I'm imagining that this will make her appear to be like acting against Kazimir.
Yeah.
And like will.
I thought that when I heard the theory of like Janelle showing up in the pits, I was like, I don't know, man. There's something that is so cinematically satisfying about Janelle, like Kazimir fighting somebody and then having them drop their like visage and it being Janelle underneath. Like there's something very, very satisfying about Kazimir, like being, after everybody else is finished out in the solos, being up against Janelle and it being either him or her, and one of them has to die. And if Kazimir dies, he's not coming back. But he wouldn't even sacrifice himself for Janelle, or he wouldn't even sacrifice Janelle for himself, even knowing that she could come back. Like he wouldn't even kill her if he knew that she would come back. I think.
Or if he did. Like,
or if he did.
What would that mean for the future of Kazimir?
Right.
Like, if he did.
He did have that conversation with Melaena.
Yep.
I think he had it with almost everyone in the party of like, hey,
it's on the table.
might kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
like there was like sorry, go.
I was just gonna say that is something that I think is realistic. Like being like Janelle maybe is in disguise or something, and she gets killed by another party member, and then Kazimir kills another party member. Because I don't think any other party member would hold it against Kazimir that he killed them. Maybe a little bit, not Bastian though. But if Janelle made it past every single other party member and it was just her or Kazimir, and if Kazimir doesn't know whether or not she has the insurance, like he's not gonna risk that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Because he knows that all of us have insurance, but he doesn't know if she does. And like her dad loves her, but he's pretty fucked up, so like who's to truly know?
She could lie. She could tell him that she has it.
Yeah.
Janelle's villain arc. Oh no.
Janelle villain arc. We were so busy with our villain arc.
Yeah, I don't necessarily see Janelle as becoming a villain, but to lie to protect Kazimir.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
A thing that she would do.
And
she would absolutely do.
I think that her dad is savvy enough to play her desire to protect Kazimir off of Kazimir's desire to protect Janelle.
Oh yeah.
And listen,
That was my number one fear too. That like he's playing both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
Seems like that's
Absolutely.
been a bad guy.
Or because of what we found out recently, he doesn't actually know. Like my other theory is that he has no idea where Janelle is, and somebody who works for him has taken her somewhere within the city while telling him that she's somewhere safe, like across the sea.
Yeah.
Do you think it's what's that guy's name that was actually nice to Kazim,
Janelle's brother.
Janelle's brother. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that'd be so fucked up.
He's our only connection to Janelle right now.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking it might be Janelle's brother.
He's the only pathway that makes sense for us to pursue. For him to help us.
Right.
Because the father's a lost cause, right? But the brothers seemed invested in learning more about Kaj and Melena's situation, right? He was asking questions. He was following up. He didn't insult either of you immediately. Like, I remember the heat from
it's also possible that her brother has been convinced that it is in Janelle's best interest that her father not know where she is,
right,
and that she stay in the city, because I have a hard time believing that her brother would 100% give her up, but I don't have a hard time believing that her brother could be manipulated into believing that whatever this other person's plan for her is the best way to keep her safe.
Right.
Meanwhile, it absolutely is not, and is 100% serving their own interests.
We just need more information. That's the one thing that we constantly keep lacking is information.
What a shame.
Can I tell you something?
Lucky enough, we're about to go on a bar crawl and get information.
I'm about to get so much information.
I'll be there to support you, I guess.
I know that we discussed that the big bad for Tragedy of Theolosion is probably either Ares or Zeus's son. But maybe it's Janelle's dad. Maybe
it could be Janelle's dad. What if Janelle's dad?
I cannot wait to beat the shit out of him.
He's our next big boss. Like he's the next Viper Queen. Out. And he's gonna get stomped. That's gonna be great.
And then after him, we're gonna fight a bunch of
landlords,
like farmers having a mud wrestling contest in the country, and almost drown in dirt, in water.
Oh, and then we'll just die like a very pitiful death?
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, when I think about Bastian and possible BBEGs for Bastian's arc, I'm like, taxes?
Taxes.
Taxes?
The system.
The system.
Yeah.
Capitalism.
Taxes.
Do we have to become the IRS for Bastian's BBEGs?
It's very possible.
Yeah. And then I think for Melaena, I think of a certain family that's not happy that their daughter was murdered.
Yeah.
And coming back to do some things about that. I think about that.
Yeah. That sounds about right. Janelle's dad is Zeus's son.
Shut the fuck up. Don't say that shit to me. Don't say that shit to me.
Tagashi, holy shit. That's the funniest theory I've ever heard, and I love it.
That's not funny. That's not funny.
He's a fucking ginger.
Yeah, see? This is what I'm texting. Sorry.
He's a ginger with freckles and a dad bod.
Oh my god. Why would you say that? Why would you say that?
I'm just saying it's possible.
We have to worry about maybe Zeus's son or whatever the lightning is that struck
Wait.
Kaj in the first
Oh my
place.
god. Everybody shut up. I had a big brain blast. Hold on.
I didn't
Okay.
think about this until now because this has been on my mind since we met Janelle's dad.
I did not connect the dots. Okay. So
The prophecy is about Cyathin, so like.
Yes.
yeah.
Wait,
that fucking
wait.
prophecy.
What if it's not Janelle's dad, but Janelle's brother or Janelle, because her dad potentially, or her mom, did a pregnancy.
Did a pregnancy,
yeah.
They had some fuck.
Yeah, they had some fuck.
Yeah.
What's your big brain?
Okay, I need to remember what the fuck my big brain was. It was about Kaj getting struck.
Yes.
Because
Sure.
if Janelle's dad is the son of Zeus, and then Janelle is his fucking name's kid, then like I feel like that makes sense in my brain.
Him getting struck by
Isn't
lightning
Janelle
is like
a wild magic sorcerer?
No, she is a
No, no, no,
she's
a
a
draconic.
draconic
Oh,
sorcerer.
she's draconic. What if Zeus is a dragon?
What if Zeus did
The way you said that with that face, I was like,
I'm fucking
Interesting.
as a dragon.
Because we don't know much about dragons in.
dragons specifically have not existed for a long
Tell
time.
me that Serenity would not make the main Olympians all dragons.
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
It's
No.
the
it's
closest dragon we know is Enigma. So
an
We know
enigma's
that
something.
dragons have been like out of sight for a really long time. What if the last time they were all dragons was during the Titanomachy?
but
Wow.
wouldn't you have seen them as dragons?
Yeah, wouldn't you have seen them as dragons?
I don't know.
Maybe
Maybe I didn't, I just
maybe it's an
forgot.
edited. Maybe it's edited.
I got cut on the editing floor.
Yeah. They're like we don't like we have the budget to only turn them into humans. We can't fix anything else.
Yeah, we
do that.
can't. We can't.
I'm so curious about dragons in Serenity's world. I'm so curious.
Oh, we have a
Something
dragon
really
with us.
We have a
Yeah.
dragon.
You've seen wyverns.
It is confirmed that that Enigma is the dragon that guards the Tree of Apples.
Yes.
The in the Garden of the Hesperides. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So she is that dragon. But I'm so curious about other dragons because they're also dragonborn, right? We've
Sure.
seen a couple of them. We don't know anything about them. And considering what
Interesting.
Serenity's done with Warforged and Tieflings
Yeah.
and
Asthma.
and Asimar as
Yeah.
a thing, I'm so curious to learn more about Dragonborn
Yeah.
and the culture of this world and dragons in general. So I might hint if there was another one shot, I might make a Dragonborn just so I can learn it. So it's
Hell yeah.
I mean, that's a quick way to learn some tragedy lores to make a new character, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Serenity, tell me about myself.
Wow.
I will share my the sort of final thing, and then we can call it. That sound good?
Sounds good to
Sounds
me.
good.
Okay, so here's some Kazimir anatomy.
Right.
He's big and he's scary, and I would never want to meet him in real life.
I would.
Well, I mean, yes, you would. But it was interesting because I want to pull up the image of the skeleton.
Skellington.
Because like a lot of the specific species that I was pulling on for the skeleton are like older extinct species. So, like this is like an ancient bison, and they have like those huge humps, and like that's something that I've developed about Kaj is that he has like that really big like all those neck muscles, right, and that hump. So it was interesting to like, because I've drawn that for so long, and I've been like, actually, I don't know how the fuck that works. So I was like, oh, there's like bones for that. So,
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's pretty neat.
Okay, I've got a question. Would we want to meet our characters if they exist in real life?
no.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to be my character, mostly because I want to give him a firm slap across the face.
Give him a noogie. I would want to meet Ragna, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I would just be scared of the concept of a Minotaur actually existing.
I mean, fair enough.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
I haven't been scared of lion men since Lizard of Oz? Wizard of Oz.
Lizard of Oz.
Wizard of
Wizard
Oz.
of Oz.
Oh no. Oh no.
Since the cowardly lion came into my life, I've never been scared of a lion person. I'm like,
That's fair.
Come on.
come on,
He's very good.
Yeah.
All right. So this has been fucking delightful. Like absolutely delightful. Thanks for talking to me about your characters. Thanks for talking to me about tragedy.
Thank you for talking to us about tragedy
Yeah.
and for liking our show.
Thank you for.
Thanks for loving our show.
I love it so much. I hope that if you've been watching this, you'll tune in on Sunday and hang out with me, and then message me about tragedy so that I have someone to talk to.
Oh my gosh.
That's what it's all been about.
Everyone, please go follow Dylan on Friendster so that you can make a forum about it and just chat your little hearts away about tragedy.
Name chat room space that you can use.
Yeah.
It's available.
Jesus. All right. Well, tragedy is back on Sunday at 8
Mhm.
p.m. PST on this
At
channel
80
right
p.m.
here.
80 p.m.
80 p.m.
Yeah. And I hope you tune into that. I've been Superdillin. You can find me at Superdillin everywhere on the internet. You can find me on the Atom list, which is along with Andre on the Welcome In, and some other things on Thursdays here on Total Party Kiss. Andre, want to say your little thing?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. My name is Andre. You can find me at Andre Rivera Art on Twitter, and also I'm gonna actually revamp my Instagram page in a little bit, probably. So, also on my Instagram, as well as AndreRivera.art, my official portfolio website, where you can see some of my own personal artwork, as well as all the shows that I'm in, including Tragedy Theolosian, including Atomus. You can also go to my Redbubble and get a little phone case with a fat little parrot on it, and other cool images that I've also made. And
It's over there, but I guess I have another.
yeah, you got the zoophobia one.
I got those for everyone.
Yeah, and check my Twitter when commissions open.
Hell yeah. Christian.
Hi, everybody. My name is Christian, aka Fluffy Goomba, on several socials, mainly on TikTok, but you can also find me on Twitch every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday, playing a variety of games with a variety of wonderful people. You can also find me here, 8 p.m. EST, and playing Tragedy Theologian, playing Ragna the Iron Claw, my dear, lovely lion, Econite fighter boy, who's very soft and just wants to make the good choices. You can also find me soon, Thursday, maybe next month, using this bad boy and playing the wonderful adventure that I'm adapting.
Go Power Rangers!
And DMing for the first time, with fear and excitement in my heart.
You're gonna do so good.
With excitement and excitement for the rest of us.
We are
Yes.
so excited.
Yes. I'm currently editing that up in my
Hell
own
yeah.
way, and it's gonna be great. And I love my players. It's gonna be fun.
You're gonna do so
So
good.
excited.
I'm so excited.
If you want to find out what I'm doing project-wise, I'm probably saying on Twitter, or other people will, because I'm gonna be casting some stuff. So,
Oh, also, I almost forgot. Go watch every Sunday for Tragedy. Me, Christian, Dylan, and Serenity all play Phoenix Wright together, and it's
yes.
one of my favorite things in the world. So also go watch that.
It's very good. Hell yeah. Sloan!
Hi everybody, my name is Sloan, aka Art Bloom, and pronouns are they them. If you would like to experience watching someone gradually discover their life in a sort of Truman Show-esque situation of figuring out who they are and what they want to do, you're welcome to find me on the internet anywhere where you can find at Artplebe, ARTPLEBE. That's my handle, and I do a lot of Twitch, TikTok, and Twitter. I'm on the Welcome In, and also TotalPartyKiss, and also Cobalt Press if you want to play a freaky little mushroom boy.
I love mushrooms.
A freaky little mushroom
Thank
boy.
you so much. That's me.
A rabbit little mushroom boy.
That was phenomenal. Depth.
Hello! I'm Depth! Like the ocean. You can find me on all the things.
It's my favorite bit.
Chaotic Bunny. My pronouns are they, them. I do things. Like I play a little angsty rogue, and I stream on Twitch now. I actually just hit affiliate, so
Hooray!
I entirely just revamped my channel. So and I was planning to stream sooner than now, but I've been hit with the sickness, the Black Plague.
Yes.
So hopefully I can stream soon again, and I just stream little crazy games. And stuff like that. So yeah, and I'm got some plans of titty
purges.
Yep.
titty pictures. I'm going to be
pictures.
GMing some titty pictures in the future, multiple ones, hopefully in the works. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And yeah, that's it.
What a
Hooray!
group of gamers. Yeah.
Is
Do
it?
we want to raid?
Is there anyone to raid?
Commune.
Oh god.
Commune is live.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! Love to raid Alec. Hold
I
on.
think they're in their penultimate episode of the end save, so.
Hell
They
yeah.
always.
Can I not raid?
Let's show
What the
some
heck?
love back.
Oh, hold on. There's a button for this. Everybody, I'm learning.
Processor, learning computer.
Commune. There we go.
There's nothing in this cup. Why would I?
Hooray! Start raid.
Woo!
Yay.
Hooray! Thanks so much for watching. We will see you so soon. Goodbye. How the fuck do I get out of here? Bye.